Hey everyone. I think everyone can hear us now. Yeah, we're good. Welcome to another episode of Balance of the Cosmic Wheel here on the Net 20 show. I am joined again today by the lovely cast of the 2 episodes ago, our Hot Springs episode round 2 is back at it. Plus one who's not
back
here right now.
Again.
Back on it again with the white vans.
We will be joined by the sabotage in a matter of soonish, and maybe the other parish might make it. We'll see. If he does, then we'll cross that burning bridge when we come to it.
Is it already burning or soon to be burned?
That is what this stream is about, is just watching the chaos ensue and getting the burning for it. So, before we jump in, wanted to say hello and thank you to our awesome sponsors. You can see them right down there, flashing off. We got Hero Forge, which if you haven't seen our last episode of Myths and Minis featuring Mel and as the mind of Val, we were able to do not one, but 2 minis in one evening. And we got the good spice and some awesome insight into Val, and also got to explore the awesome tools that are available online at HeroForge.com, or if you type in !HeroForge into the chat, you can see our affiliate link where it'll lead you to straight to the page where you can open up that tab and you can fill out your menu, you can order that, and it automatically, boom, helps the stream out. We are Hero Forge has a I think they just made an update where they have pride flags for Pride Month, and they have like these big banners that you can get. I think it's like the extra large figure. Mel.
Oh, is that loud? Shit.
It's okay. I can just. They have a multitude of different races and equipment and little bits and baubles that you can use alongside all of their painting things. You can paint multiple aspects of your character and move all of those aspects around in the 3D space before you get it color printed and sent to your door very safely in like a oversized, like, you know, those WizKids minis boxes. It's like that, but like more protected, and it's really neat. And go check them out. Our other sponsor that you can see here is Incarnate. Incarnate is an awesome online map tool that I use and a lot of us use for various other games in order to make regional maps, like city maps. I used one in a previous episode, even just to do like a scene map, because it like offers like this nice third person perspective. They have modular tools that you're able to like change the colors of like whatever you're working with, whether you have like deadened trees or something like that. You can kind of pretty much like transform whatever you're wanting to work with into a form. You can also like load in your own PNGs and then use those onto Incarnate. So like the options are endless. But Incarnate has been an awesome tool that we've been using for a while, and you should go check them out because they're amazing. Our last, but certainly not least, our last sponsor is Elderwood Academy, that is working on getting some new items for Us the Cast, and these are some old ones from. I say old ones. These are. I've had this now, I think, for a year. Coming up here soon, and it has lasted me 2 moves, and many a game, and the binding. I want to show y'all that the binding on this leather is like still very fresh, even though I probably use it at least twice a week whenever I'm like rolling and stuff. This is one of their spell books, which you can get available in various different colors, different colored foils, different kinds of wood, different colored foils, different colored leathers, or fake leathers. And I don't have a dry erase marker here because we're in a temporary place, but all of them come with this little temporary thing that you can also customize the color of this. Mine is my favorite colors, and it's my boy Gramps. They also have spell scrolls, and you can go check out the remnants of their Kickstarter, where they have the keychain spell books. They also have hex chests, varieties of different kinds and shapes and colors. So go check them out at elderwoodacademy.com, and whenever you go to checkout, be sure to use the code NAT20 to get yourself 10% off. We have a flame person with us. We have the incarnate fire himself. There he is with broken glasses and all.
We don't believe in having fully functioning glasses around here. I'd like to believe that just in game, Abe broke his glasses at some point and doesn't really know how or where to get them fixed. And so he's just kind of like, he's got like a bit of leather that he wraps around it. And it's just like, yeah, this works.
Made like sports glasses.
It's a
that
piece
just
of
kind of like
glass and just like make some glass.
Well, without further ado, let's jump on in. So, oh wait, we have more things. What you got?
Oh no, I'm good.
Kobe.
On Tuesdays.
Oh yeah.
We have another
If
show.
you want to know, because we remembered we love Tuesday.
On Tuesday at 7:30, I am definitely not the guy who should definitely know that there's a thing happening, because I GM it every single week. But we have our cyberpunk futuristic RPG show running in the 90s. We use the Shadowrun 5e system to play in a homebrew world, mostly of my own creation, pulling with some themes from both the core Shadowrun material and also from SCPs and a few other interesting things, which comes together into this really interesting story revolving around the Neon Knights and their quest to figure out how they fit into a world that is seemingly beset on all sides by both a mysterious past involving Arthurian legend, a questionable future involving the megacorps as they use shadowy figures to try and manipulate each other's dealings, and an uncertain present as the only safe place in all of New Seattle seems to be a small cybercat cafe in the middle of the downtown sprawl called the Plausible Deniability. So come on by, check it out, grab a soy calf, and settle in on Tuesdays for running in the 90s.
Most people should likely get a soy calf because actually 60% of the population some way or another is lactose intolerant, whether you show symptoms or not. Bye.
Well, I'm allergic to soy, so Mel would not survive.
We will get you a calf.
I was about to say, what is Carly's?
Hey, what are your soy-free options? Is there like oat calf?
I was gonna say, we'll get you calf. It's literally just a pile of caffeine powder as a dust.
Nice.
With possible further ado, we will now jump into the chaos here. Last we left off, the party after making their way into the halfling city of Orlais, drawn out here, were stopped into the local mayor-ish figure, Shiloh, who's also a clerical figure of the Lady of the Waters, Eldath, common, actually more commonly referred to as like maybe like an elven deity, but in this case it's more of like a calming, healing deity that is like Lady of the Waters in Arthurian legend. The group tried to have the beginnings of a talk before Abe went off and checked out the pond, and everyone else also went out and checked out the pond or the waterfall. And in the center of town. And we had a Hot Springs episode that led to Eldath. Eldath's like number one MVP Shiloh coming out and be like, hey guys, what are y'all doing? Lady tells me that, I mean, you fit the vibe, so like it seems like you have some important biz. How about you just talk to her yourself? And led them down a somewhat of a ritual to commune with Eldath in spirit, person, avatar. And upon returning, the brothers also had an opportunity to do so and got a less of an answer, more of a gesture in the right direction.
Wording: no party members were killed in this drowning-based ritual.
Oh, like a sacrifice.
Like a sacrifice.
All fucking chaos gremlins.
Let me see if I can, so that I don't get okay, yeah, I need to make sure I do this real quick. Need to fix this camera. Hiya. Okay. Sorry, I need to be able to see the chat, but y'all's chat, but not let them see it. Okay, there we go. Bam. All right. What is this? This is my camera. Okay. Anyways, Xyriel, in the meantime, was working on these interesting platinum bracelets, which he marked as friendship bracelets, and made them in like more of a personalized manner towards for every party member. Offered them to everyone as they eventually made their ways out of bed the next morning. Those who rested, obviously, those who rested who were missing hit points from going unconscious the previous day, do get those hit points back, and anyone who was swimming in the Momdwur gets 1d4 temporary hit points for today. Also,
Let me get my dice. No, they were not already out. And they
you
should have been.
remind me what the modifier was for those of us who drank our delicious bean juice.
oh,
in the
you
morning.
drank the bean juice. Yeah.
Yes.
The bean juice was you add 10 feet to your movement speed, and you have advantage on perception or investigation checks. No, I think it was just perception checks. Yeah. Plus 10 and advantage on perception checks as you just get wired the fuck out. And as everyone is wired out on this medieval espresso, I think Xyriel and Abe and fill in the blanks were going over to talk to the local
They
group
probably
of
would have went
wolves.
with
Abe
Xyriel was going.
Abe went with what were they? It was some specific local population.
Knowles.
Knowles.
Yes, Abe went with the Knowles
Mm.
to go check out and see if he could find any footprints. And specifically, they said that they had like broken a door, and so Abe was going to go check that out. And Xyriel went back to get the rest of the party to presumably meet him there.
Got you. Yeah. And Zeke probably went to go get ready the caravan with Nova. And did Nova go get the caravan ready?
Yes, I
There
went
it
to
is.
go get the caravan.
I believe Val also went to go get the caravan ready.
Yeah.
Because she's ready to GTFO.
Vibes.
Now, see here, I think I'll just go over with them and get the caravan ready. Abe, are you okay by yourself?
Yeah, no, I reckon I need to do a bit of a look around here, see what I can find with regards to these sort of clues and whatnot, as I kind of told Xyriel I'd at least try and take a look at what's going on around here. I told him I'd only give him until, everyone was ready to get on the road.
Fair enough, yeah. I'll meet you out there. Are you feeling looser a little bit after last night?
You know me, Zeke. Just cool as a cucumber. I never feel too tight about nothing, he says very stiffly.
All right. And he just like goes off with Nova and like gives a
while
horn.
you're over there, I think I left. It's none too specifically important, but I left sort of a small plant type thing with Xyriel, and I was gonna check on it this morning. So if you just want to, just have a look in, maybe make sure it ain't bothering nobody or nothing. Have a look at it. I'll look at it later, but if you were to do that now.
Wait,
Right, yeah. I'll make
Is
sure
this-
that the tree monster that you planted is not killing anyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Nova within your listening distance or no? Is this like...
Yeah, you
I
can
thought
hear
she
it.
was right
Walking
there.
away?
Yeah,
Okay,
you
cool.
can hear it.
I'm like,
Wait,
I already said I was gonna
So
be...
are we not by the caravan? Like, where? Because I thought Nova was at the carriage's caravan,
I was
and
walking
he was
towards
at the
you.
outskirts in the knolls.
Everyone was just kind of
We're
like...
about to disperse.
Everyone
Yeah,
was in the middle finding out stuff about like from the Knolls because there's a bunch like the town center is just full of pretty much all of the residents that are talking about the things that they're missing that have been previously stolen. A bunch of Knolls were out there, and eventually one of them with a nat 20 on an investigation check, one of or persuasion check, someone was able to suss out something, and Xyriel, after talking to Val, went and caught up with Abe, which is now the catch-up. Abe leaving. So everybody's around together.
Okay. So we have not separated yet.
Not yet.
I think we sort of inadvertently converged in the city on the way out of the city, but I'm planning to go with the Knolls, and you all are planning to go see the carriages.
Yeah. The Knolls are like kind of waiting. There's like a group of like mildly dressed, just kind of like clear, like nice fabrics, kind of like cut off and stuff like that, and some trousers that extend down to their kind of like weirdly hunched, harsh knees, and they're just kind of like talking to themselves in kind of this yipping accent, waiting on Abe to finish his conversation until they can guide him there.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, I think Nova is there.
In that case, I think she'd probably be like, I mean, I already said I was going to check on it, but yeah.
Oh,
see,
yeah,
can do
no,
it.
that's no. If you were, I didn't know who had seen it recently, and so I
Have you
wasn't-
watered it yet?
No.
I'll go water it.
Yeah. On the topic of water, and I'm just gonna toss her the vial that I collected the night before.
I will attempt to catch it.
I won't say that y'all have to roll for it.
It's a real gentle underhand.
Yeah.
Super agility.
Only those with negative dex modifiers need to make checks.
I'm gonna just double check.
Couldn't be me.
No, we're good. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's from the well of vague messages about the future.
She like peers at it really closely to see if it has any color change and is like, thanks, appreciate it. Puts it into her purse.
Gotcha. It does carry with it like almost it's hard to see, but you are able to see like contained within this water a lot of different colors.
OC, hear me out. We make a bubble maker, and then we put the water in the bubble maker, and we make prophecy bubbles.
I love it.
No, it's not how bubbles work.
Also,
Water.
Nova
just
100% assumes that you gave it to her, and not to like borrow or hold. So I hope you weren't looking to get that back.
Cool. Yeah. No. Abe very much is like thinking like, oh, good. I've stored this for later so that science can happen.
Science will happen.
Science will happen.
Whether you're there or
you
not.
You may not be there, but science will happen.
Okay, so I've got the finalized bit. We'll go with Abe and Xyriel and Marlow are making their way over towards Pup's Prairie, which is the outskirts of the area, which is like where the gnolls usually are staying. Not all of them, just the ones that have chosen to be farming, because,
All the gnolls in Arthania are in that field.
Every gosh damn gnoll.
as they're approaching, Abe just sort of from the side of the road is gonna like pluck a whole, like a smallish wheat stalk and put it in his mouth to sort of like think as he chews on it. And then because of the flames, it just immediately bursts alight and disappears.
Face palm Marlow on the side.
You, there's no one tending to these crops right now. And no one notices you just taking one of the crops, but yeah.
Well, I'll see if... Oh, God. Yeah. All right.
It smells like burnt bread right now, so as it kind of trails around behind you. You continue on down past a few farming plots, about probably like a quarter mile to the southeast-ish area, kind of following along the road until you kind of cut into a like path wide enough to where you see like a larger kind of barnyard home that is about 500 feet away, and there's a few young gnolls that are outside. None of them they have like trousers on, and just like are playing with each other, and there's another gnoll that is tending to like the little plot that is closest to the little barn home, but the one that can speak common a little bit more clearly says, "Here, this door."
Perfect. Thank you. I'm gonna just take a moment here to, of course, have a bit of a look at it, see if I can find anything. I do appreciate your directions. Do you regularly let the kids play outside, just around here?
During daytime.
Okay. Do you mind if I just ask them a couple questions real quick?
Just gestures.
I'm gonna sort of gesture the kids over, and if they don't appear to come initially, I'm gonna use thaumaturgy to just like make little colorful sparkles in my hands.
You hear the one that you were just talking to, kind of start to shout over to the kids, and the kind of pouncing playing that they were doing stops as they look over at y'all and kind of like duck their heads down. You can see their tails kind of go in between their legs a little bit, and then you start the sparks, and they immediately go behind what looks like another knoll with like a lighter kind of blonder fur, who waves her hand off, and says, and then like says something in this kind of like the same like yipping language that you don't understand, and then the one says, "Fires, not is scare."
That's
That's
normally
really
how
all
I
we can do.
relate with children.
Okay, I'm gonna whistle for a bird, little bird, by for Eagle Rain.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes by, I'm just gonna be like, all right, bird, like roll and see if I can get like some aerial zooms and the like to attract children. We're looking over at Abe because Abe and children, it's worrying in general.
Okay. So you're just trying to get them distracted, or you're trying to get like a view?
Get them like to come and be interested and play and feel comfortable.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. I've got an idea of something I want to try while I do this. While she does this, I do not know if it will work. You can do
I
your thing
don't know
first.
the exact number, but I know it's low because it was a natural 2.
Yikes!
So I'm gonna guess probably a 6.
They are less interested in what's going on, but they do perk up to the other Noel who's been kind of talking to you, who kind of just like kind of turns his head in and squats down. Finally, you can see like the like muscled like legs kind of squatting down, and starts to say something to them. Points around to like the east, and like making big gestures while talking, and says, "The children didn't see anything."
But that's okay. I was actually gonna alright, I'm gonna make one more attempt at this. If this doesn't work, these children are just beyond me. Wouldn't you know it, for some reason children don't like flaming demon lawyers. I can't imagine why that doesn't strike a chord. But what I'd like to do is use shape water to take a little bit of water, and I want to freeze it into ice in the shape of a little like multifaceted sphere, sort of like a disco ball, basically. And then I want to use thaumaturgy to hold a flame sort of next to it and change the color of the flame so that it has different colors of lights that just shoot out in beams all around.
Okay. Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
You can see he still is like talking to the kids in like a very much like of This time, like whenever he talks to the children, it's in like much more of like you hear some like small like whines or whinnies in there.
While he's doing this, can I just investigate the broken down door and like the area around?
Yeah, the door is broken in, and there is that's like the only like major sign that you can immediately see, but you can go ahead and make an investigation check.
Abe is actually good at persuasion because he's like a warlock and shit, and
Yeah.
charisma. So
And
that's gonna be
charismatically. Oh
Yeah,
goodness. Hoodwinks people into contracts. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Don't worry about it.
Charmosmole.
Clearly not.
So 15 plus 7 is 22.
They like go and like try to grab at like the lights a little bit now after seeing like kind of like looking back at like the larger knoll, and they come up and they're still like really like skittish, but are like about 5 feet away from you and like kind of like waiting intently, just kind of
So I'm going to keep making these little spheres, and I'm gonna start handing like each kid who comes over a sphere. And as I do so, I'm gonna try and motion over translator guy.
he's right there behind them.
Cool, perfect.
Yeah, there's only 2 of the kids.
Hey, so how about we all play a little game? Now I only have about 10-15 minutes, but it'll be real fun.
Yeah, they look up behind them, and he says, "Scale." And they just kind of wait.
The game is called Wolf. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pretend that we're wolves out in the wild, and what we're doing is we're hunting this prey that we've gotta catch, right? We gotta bring it home for dinner before it gets dark and everyone's hungry. So we know that right over here, you see this broken door? We know that the prey crashed out of this door last night, but we don't know where it went. And there must be tracks somewhere nearby. So we're gonna try and like sniff around and see what we can smell and see what we can see and even listen to see what we can hear. And then we're gonna see if we can find any tracks or anything. And if anyone can find tracks, you win the game.
I'm sorry, is this child labor, Abe?
Yes.
Make a. You finish that, and then they kind of like look up at the larger knoll, who is like eyeing you. I need you to make a persuasion check.
Okay. Oof, not as good. 16?
Okay. He in much more of a succinct translation.
I am trying to bribe them with the orbs.
Yeah. They're taking it a little bit and like trying to eat it. These Tide Pods. And he says like, they will help us look.
Good. I figure they probably spend more time roaming around the area around here than we do when they play, so they're gonna recognize something out of the ordinary where I'm just looking at it for the first time.
What is the investigation check for Marlow?
19.
19. You are what are you searching, just the door in particular, or are you like trying to suss out like what is like what caused the breakdown of the door, or are you looking like at signs of?
I was gonna look at the door, see if it was like a kicked down thing, or if it was singed, or if it was a magic, and then look and see if there was anything left raw. Any like prints or disturbances that go places that we didn't really expect, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. There, as you look into it, it's like it's a nice door, and it's like pretty heavy wood, and it's broken down. It looks like it's broken inside, like from the outside into the home, but it's not broken. With that roll, you can tell it's not like broken in any way of trying to get in. Like, it's broken at the top right corner and like at the bottom left foot. Like, it doesn't make sense to like make this, like, to get it hit like this. And it is like just kind of a like lightly, the snow's kind of dusted away recently as in the past like couple days. And it is just kind of like a dusty dirt trail that leads out in this area. And there's no immediate tracks right here. But with that investigation check, you kind of like look and peer into and have like your bird maybe on the splinters, and pulls out just a like a small little piece of fabric, that's kind of like into one of the splinters, that's got like a little bit of like some dried, what you can imagine is like dried blood on it.
Okay. Is Abe still there, or is he frolicking with children?
I'm sending the children out like minions, and I'm remaining here.
At this point, you've heard all the things that Abe has said, and the children have gone to kind of like spread out and look. They will make some survival checks.
Go forth, my children.
Like I said, balls.
Search.
Please. I'll walk up to Abe and Xyriel in the meantime and be like, just send the children out to do our job?
No, I sent the children out to help their local community. Technically, it's a game, so I'm just building healthy relationships with the local populace. You know, I've heard that people up here like to play games as a method of establishing a social bond of mutual equity.
I have so many words, Abe. So many words.
Look, I'm not gonna know if something's out of place.
You know, we can move on here.
They're having
I checked
fun.
Yeah, of course. Yep. No, you did a good deed today, indeed. Yes. So I was
Like
actually
not at
checking
Xyriel,
out-
like, see?
I was actually checking out the door, and I found in the splinters of the top area, which is kind of weird, some cloth with possibly blood on it.
Oh,
I don't know what color is it. Is there any like stitching or pattern?
It is maybe like a quarter sized, and from what it looks like, it looks like just like the edge is kind of frayed with some dried like stuck blood that looks like dried paint almost, stuck on cloth, but like it's hard to like, it's not nice material. It's a dark color, like a weird gray, like darkish gray, brownish color.
Has DNA testing been invented?
No, but what has
Magic.
been invented, I'm not on my regular computer, so I don't know if anyone else has deep magic up so they can read the entry for me.
Which
But
one?
You got Boo.
I'd like to gesture out. Can I borrow that for just 1 second?
No, of course. I assume there might be a blood trail or something that we can find if somebody's hurt.
Yeah,
That's all you're
no.
looking for?
Well, blood is generally not a good thing, but very good for us because, you know, blood is attached to people and people are easy. I'm just gonna do the thing.
I mean, it's not quite attached, but I mean, we can go with that if you want. Yeah.
So I'd like to cast
Fantastic.
read object first.
Okay. This is from Deep Magic.
Yes.
700 plus spells by Cobalt Press.
Read object. It is a second level divination ritual. Casting time is 1 minute. Range touch. Components VS. Concentration. By handling an object and reading the psychic residue on it, you can divine information about the item's history. After you cast the spell, you continue to handle the object, reading any impressions that might be left upon it. In each round, the GM may give you one piece of information related to the item's ownership and handling. GM might determine that a particular item does not have enough psychic residue to provide any clear impressions. And the following are examples of information you can obtain. I'm not going to do every single one, but like item's name, visual image of the last creature to handle the item, impression of the emotional state,
Okay, got you.
etc. Yeah.
Thank you. So what is the as you open up the book and begin this kind of ritual with, are you doing it in front of everybody?
Yeah, creepy demon ritual.
I feel like if
Feels-
I open the book with the spooky flame runes, and that sometimes, has sounds that are definitely not screams from the underworld, I'm just gonna
Can I minor illusion it to make it look not creepy to the rest of the children? And just be like, hello.
You can
Flowers.
sure
And,
try.
and farm animals.
Yeah, I could say that you do that. Make a performance check. The children are already off, but like the adults that are sitting around watching this.
Abe just holding a bouquet of flowers, demon
Wow.
runes spring
Wasted
up out
a really
of it.
good roll on that. 21.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
You kind of just make it look like what do you like, confetti or something like that is like popping out of the book or something, or
Yeah.
Yay!
No, little flowers sprouting out and like little mini like peeper like farm animals hopping around. That's like a pop-up book, a magical pop-up book.
okay.
Meanwhile, Abe is just muttering into himself these incantations of eating the abyss of data.
Getting your southern tieflings mixed up there, eh?
Yeah.
Talking really loud,
Um,
like, oh, what nice weather we're having, and great times abound.
His eyes
People
just
don't hear
roll over
creepy.
black, and the flames lick up a little higher as he's looking into the book.
They all do take like an instinctual step back as you're kind of just like casting, and they say, they don't say anything. They just are waiting. They see Marlow kind of like,
I was
but-
like doing bird things on the side, like, please look over here, not the creepy man who's super suspicious.
The piece of fabric then floats out of your hand, almost as if it kind of flits away. It doesn't burn away, but almost as it kind of like the edges kind of burn, and as it kind of peels off, it floats up almost like it's in the wind until it gets near the door, and then whenever it gets on the door, like back to where where Marlow had originally found it, there's this almost like where the edges were on fire, or like kind of like an ember of like a piece of paper right there. It kind of pools and makes this ember colored like hologram, like almost like these like sparked effects of this illusion that is created. And this slow motion thing, you can see this large figure that is like in stasis, kind of like thrown up against the door. You can't see the face, but there's like a hooded figure who is thrown up against the door, and next to the figure is like just is, well, no, there's nothing next to the figure, but it's just like a cloak that is like thrown up against the door, and you can see there's a person obviously wearing the cloak, and you can see it start to mend its way backwards as the person or this figure is like doing like this like slow running sneak before the cloth, you don't see what's causing it, but the cloth, kind of like rewinding, is picked up. Basically, it's the reverse of they're running, cloth is picked up, and they're thrown into the door. And you see that in reverse, and then whenever the image finishes, the little piece kind of settles down onto the ground from the original spot, about like 10 feet back, because you can only catch maybe about that last like second or two. Porcupine Leaves, thank you for the gifted subs. We love
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
You're
much.
wonderful.
That's awesome.
Andrew, you're great. Hope you're having a great night.
So the large figure, when you say large, like approximate height that I would judge from knowing the height of the door in comparison to me?
Like as tall as these gnolls around you, which is like, like the shortest adult gnoll around you is like 6'6". And like really broad shoulders.
Okay.
It's a really big individual.
Would I infer some specific likely race or something like that from just the size?
Like body structure.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like a troll looks different than a Goliath in build.
Right. Make a nature check.
Okay.
And was Abe the only one who saw this? I have to wait till he.
Yeah.
No, you all can see like this like it's like the I'd say TikTok. It's like there's like a silhouetted outline of just the features that are colored in by like these sparks, and the sparks. This figure, the sparky figure, is like what moved along.
Then can I also roll a nature check?
I was gonna say, since it's Abe, can it just be like the ground almost seems to like smoke, and as the smoke rises up, it makes these shapes?
Yeah.
Nothing creepy to see here, children. Keep playing your game.
Yeah. So what's y'all's nature checks?
Can I roll as well? Oh, that's money.
Absolute legend. Mine is irrelevant.
Up to a
Are we at 60 yet?
27.
Oh,
Mine's a
three
16.
away. 16.
27.
Okay. Abe, it's just a large lad. You're not sure. Marlow, with that, you know it is less likely for a lot of humanoid races to get this large. Like a human can be this large, but they'd have to be like, some, feat of strength kind of person. It's classically maybe like one of the larger races, maybe could be a Goliath, could be a Furbolg, could be any of the classically what you think of as larger races. Could be like someone with orcish blood, could be bugbear.
So not a medium-sized race.
Right.
Like mechanic-wise.
I mean, they are all medium-sized races, but it is one of like, it could be Goliath, bugbear, orc or half orc, Furbolg. It's the size of a Dragonborn or Lizardfolk, but you don't see any tails. Some Dragonborns don't have tails, so maybe that. So it's going to be one of those like canonically maybe like just bigger races.
Abe is immediately going to close his book, and then I'll use thaumaturgy so that my voice is loud enough that the kids can hear, and I'll be like, new rules for the game. We've discovered that the prey is actually the largest prey anyone has ever seen around here. So you gotta find great big footprints. And the winner will get, and I'm just gonna rummage around. Does anyone have any, like, do you have like a food or like something?
I feel like
kids
Xyriel
like?
might have something.
The tall one stops and says, "They can't understand you."
Right, if you
We got a
wanted to.
pat on the back. We're not
And-
paying children for that proposal line. Proposal.
They're not like going out very far either.
Yeah.
They're like going to like the ends of like what looks like their plots. After a little bit, and they're just kind of confused. They're like, this is like the larger gnolls are all just kind of like waiting. They saw that and they were like, oh, like you get lots of like oohs and ahs. And then the other one speaks up and says, I heard one inside say, big face, or big and no face.
Which one? A child? Or
Points inside, one of small folks.
from the town?
Yeah, the other people in the town, I think, had been saying that they'd seen people, but they couldn't remember their faces. But here's the thing.
Well, either couldn't remember or couldn't see, and I don't think we were
No,
talking before if it was a memory thing or not. But I don't think the memory thing would affect your spell.
that's what I'm saying. Just now, I looked in that spell, and there wasn't a face for me to see, which means either something is still mucking with my magic now, or this thing actually has its face either like covered or changed, or maybe
Yeah.
this is sounding like some kind of magical nonsense again. I'm wondering if there
Not
ain't some
nonsense,
sort of
but okay.
I'm wondering if there ain't some sort of cult or deity or devil or something like that gets fond of their followers not having faces.
Yeah. Can I roll religion to see if I know of any like deity known as like a no-faced god or does this types of that stuff?
Yeah, and yeah, you do that, and Xyriel will assist.
Good, Xyriel. Good.
While this happens, I just want to go and sort of, as a last question, before I think I'll just take what we've learned here and talk to my friends a bit, see if we can't come up with something. What specifically was taken from here?
Goes over and double checks with that like more blonde furred gnoll, and turns around and says, "There's a small waterfall statue of Eldath."
Thank you. Well, I appreciate it. I'm going to go confer with my council. We'll get to work on some sort of a case that you people might have here. And then once we've prepared our initial findings and gone through the discovery process for additional evidence, we'll get back to you, find out if there's anything further that we can do to assist you.
We will do our best to help.
We will do an acceptable amount, which we deem quality help according to our non-binding agreement to assist y'all with your current the endeavor.
They all kind of like nod, and like you see like all at one time, don't really like smile, but like they all kind of like show like their top teeth, and then the big one that it was talking, the larger one that was talking to y'all, like comes up and like grabs the back of your head and like puts his head against you.
I take a step back.
Goes to Xyriel.
I'll do like a little bow.
Abe, like, very awkwardly, he does it, that as he's pulling away, his horn sort of, like, gets stuck behind his head, and he's
So if y'all want to continue, the religion check, 17?
I got a 17.
Okay. There's a number of faceless deities. The one that maybe comes to mind immediately that might fit this situation is Mask. But like, that's just like a very generic, like, oh, someone broke in through the chimney. Could be Santa. That's just like.
Does he have any ties to purple robes? Like,
I don't think they were purple robes. Were they?
There's purple robes.
This itself is gray, you said. Like the...
Yeah, the
cloth that we have.
The cloth, and the image only showed like just basically a moving robe. There was no like hands. You could just see like the shape of the body inside of the robe.
The robe was not purple?
No. Well, there was no color with but the fabric was a dark grayish brown.
Okay. Cool.
But like there's other faceless or like, masking deities that comes to mind, but none of them have any like niche things that match with any of this. It's very nondescript in this sense.
Well,
get any more information really here unless we pick up a trail, and I haven't seen anything.
kids didn't turn anything new up, and they should know this place better than I would. Plus, you'd think if there was a guy this big here, unless something happened, he'd have left some sort of a sign when he was, tromping in through, don't you think?
Yeah, honestly, with it being a field and dirt, and the fact that there's absolutely no tracks, or even if he ran through the fields, nothing pressed down, I don't really know.
Whatever this thing is, I figure it's either someone who can teleport in and teleport out with something to hide their face, maybe from their religion, maybe just because thieving's easier that way. Or the much less pleasant example is that there are things out there that can kind of move themselves around at will. None of the ones that are that big or would want to have their face concealed by whoever's in charge of them I'd particularly like to deal with.
I mean, if we could, I would greatly appreciate if we could, but I mean, a lot to do, and I don't know. I don't think we have enough information to make any kind of assumption or
I reckon we
direction
could
to go towards.
If I had time, I'd go back into town and I'd compare the notes I now have regarding this guy with the other person who talked about somebody big stealing their stuff and not being able to remember their face. But,
Well, not being able to see their face.
right. But, I don't know if we have time. We got our own shard we need to track down.
I know,
Ah,
Xyriel, that you wanted to help, and I want to help as well.
Like I said earlier, Go ahead.
I feel like there's still things missing and more that we could do. I'll look around for maybe some tracks or something more while I wait for the caravan if y'all want to continue on.
We'll come through here on our way out of town. I say we go tell what we've learned to the others, and then if we really want to take one last stab at it on the way out of town, we can just stop the caravan by whichever lady that was who said she saw something big and faceless stealing things. See if she has any further notes, but gosh, as much as I'd like to save ourselves a bit of work later by making sure their shard doesn't get... I mean, I don't know what your theory is, Marlow, but the way this looks to me, I figure somebody's trying to find their shard and just doesn't know what it looked like, so they're taking everything they find that might seem vaguely religious.
It could be. It might just be some other kind of coincidence. I honestly don't have enough information.
Maybe
I think Shiloh has things pretty well held down here. He didn't find Xyriel yet.
maybe he's heard something from listening to all the people talk to him so far.
Who's Shiloh?
He's at the podium listening to everyone's what they're missing.
Yeah.
We gotta head back. Alright, let's go get everyone. We can head out of town. We can stop by, see if Shiloh has anything else he wants to tell us about. And then honestly, Xyriel, I gave it my best stab, and I can't burn the dish I'm already cooking just because this one looks so good.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad we tried at least, you know?
Too many irons in the fire type of problem.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
Your
you
mic
all
is...
enjoy your farming, and I'm gonna head back off to go find the rest of everyone.
No, we'll meet up with you after.
Speak up a little bit.
You're really
Your mic
quiet.
is wonky.
Okay. You hear me?
It's still
Just
like...
barely.
Great. Cool. Awesome. One sec.
You
Okay,
got quiet
switched.
all of a sudden.
But I heard what you said. We'll catch up with
Yep.
you. Yeah. And, nope.
Can't hear anything now.
As Xyriel goes into like some bit of a search mode almost, and like holds on to the bag and then goes and like kind of like looks around for a little bit, and we switch over to Nova and Val and Zeke.
Hey!
E-
Val is still kind of in a huff, but she's basically very aggressively putting the cart together, maybe a little too aggressively.
Is she like acting super rushed or just very...
She's not rushing, but she's definitely like expedient. So she's very all of her movements are very purposeful. She's not rushing because you never rush a good job. But she's definitely not lollygagging either.
Cool.
Coach Yolo.
Nova is tacking up the horses right now. And she sees Val kind of like doing her thing in a notably different behavior than
Very tunnel vision.
everything in the past. And she looks to see where Zeke is.
Zeke is following right behind her.
Okay, so they're.
I just imagine that she's like bossing him around. She's like, do this. And he's like, yes, ma'am.
Cool. In that case, I'm going to just like activate. I don't know why I don't have this prepped. I'm gonna have to like. Nova makes a mental check of like, I really should just like prep this spell for myself, but she activates parry and starts the sending cantrip.
Oh.
So I have to roll it. The sending cantrip or the message cantrip?
Message.
Oh, message cantrip.
Message.
Yeah.
Awkward. It was a 3, so I actually don't get my cantrip, and I don't have a spell slot for that one, so that's fun. That's fine.
All right, so
Okay.
you fritz
Cool.
out on a cantrip.
Huh?
You fritz out on a cantrip.
I don't fritz out. It just doesn't work. I rolled a 3. I have to roll a 10 for the cantrip. But if
Did you add your Arcana check? It's an Arcana check.
Oh, I didn't. It is a 10.
Okay.
Guys, it's been a while.
So, you are able to the Mizium comes out a little bit and comes almost like kind of funnels the weird like circular patterns in like a funnel effect, and you speak into it. And
Cool. I just want to make it like I want to make Perry just kind of like float, just kind of like I've got it around. It's being super handy, but I'm gonna like whisper into it like out loud because I'm kind of far away from everyone. To Val, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, is everything okay?" Because back there was kind of not what I would expect.
I'm just a little on edge.
How many is it? How many words? Because
Message doesn't have a word limit. It's a cantrip. You could just
excellent.
keep going.
Cool, because I thought you had to recast it after you hit
do
a
have to
limit.
recast it.
You do have to recast it.
Parry is Parry. I can't recast each time.
Wait, you
That's
can't?
Good.
She can-
Good.
she
I
can
just
do-
have to roll each
She
time.
can do 5. She can use parry to cast a spell she doesn't have prepared 5 times.
Oh.
Exactly. So I rolled a 4, but that was fine. Can you say what you said one more time?
Oh, yeah, Val just said, I'm just a little bit on edge today, is all.
Is it sleep or is it something else? You know exactly what I mean.
Yes, it's something else.
And I look at her now and I try to make eye contact. I raise my eyebrow. I go back to tacking. And I say, I'm keeping tabs and trying to keep us moving forward. Trying to resend. Cool. Okay. I do think we can get the team moving forward with a little give and take. I know this is urgent. And I look at her again. I know this is urgent.
Thanks. I wish the rest of our compatriots would understand the urgency, but I have the feeling that I've not been forthright as I need to be.
It might be time to tell them.
I was hoping not to, or at least not have to go into it, but apparently not giving them all the information is not working.
It's always good. Roll again. Okay, cool. It's always good to defer to not disclosing all the information. But the results have not been as expected. So it's time to share more. And maybe apologize to blank. I don't respond, but I was going to say Xyriel, but now I'm, yeah.
It just maybe apologize to, and then Mel just goes, perhaps that might be necessary. I was a little curt.
You just hear an audible.
Val's just gonna walk over there because she sees her just casting spells, and she's just like,
No, can you help us out instead of casting spells then?
I'm tacking. This is just, I'm multitasking right now.
she walked over to her horse, which apparently is named Dave.
Hey.
And she's like over there, like helping, like working on her horse and like packing it while Nova's working. And she says aloud, I feel like this is a conversation we can have on the road. I don't want to delay our departure for...
Agree.
Zeke from the front of the wagon. What conversation?
Nova looks at him and then just really busily just like dismisses it and goes back to tacking.
She just looks at Zeke and says, I have something that I need to discuss with everyone, and since it is a conversation I want to have with everyone, I will wait until the entire party is present to disclose this information.
You know, I'm always all for more talking. You gotta love those discussions. I'll make sure we have drinks packed, 'cause that's what I'll do.
All right.
I would love that.
What kind of drinks, Zeke? Water?
Yeah, sure.
Some cold brew
If
for
that's
Rib.
what you want.
Oh, that reminds me, and I'm gonna skedaddle back to check on the plants.
Alright.
I think Zeke might actually, while the packing is happening.
Swear to God, he overwatered it. Control flames. Let's get drowned. Anyway.
So where was the plant? Was it in the tavern?
In the back of the caravan.
In the back
We
of the
left
caravan.
both of the plants.
And it was in all of the...
No, it was only it was half and half. Half Palor soil, half regular soil.
Yeah, so we took regular soil and we put pillar soil on top so that it was like planted in the regular or the Palor soil. But then what we were going to try to do was basically propagate the Palor soil at the same time we were trying to grow the plant.
Gotcha. You notice it is like what you did plant has already emerged as like a small like sapling size. Like it's about like 3 feet, and the roots are kind of coming like up and around, and it looks like instead of going deeper, the roots are just going back through the same topsoil.
Through the same topsoil?
Like it's not going. It doesn't look like you look at it. It's not going below the layer of the paler soil.
That's different than what I was told. And I open up my notebook and I like flip through it, and I like look back at a previous quote that somehow, I guess, maybe not just planting. Because I thought there was a layer of Palor, it was like sandwiched. There was a layer of Palor soil at the bottom, and then Palor soil up top. But
You just
it
said
was like
the
a
dirt
mixture of it. It was a mixture, but like
it's okay. I thought you just said that it's like half this and then it's half that. That's
I
what
can double check the transcript.
I'm just going off of what you said to me. It doesn't matter what.
It was like,
how did you pot it?
trust
Was it just a
I trust
mixture
Nova's
of dirt?
read on this. She did the dirt.
I'm pretty sure paler soil was at the bottom,
Hmm.
and then regular soil. I did not mix it. But I thought it was
Pails.
like at the bottom. I'm pretty sure I remember Abe had his little like wet sopping plant and was like, help. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, give me a sec. Had a little jar, sprinkled some paler like from the little tube into it, and
Uh-huh.
then just like blooped the wet, muddy mixture into it. And then it was like kind of happy-ish. It was like, okay, this is cool.
Okay,
That's
so
what
is
it
it
said.
pale or
So-
normal?
I think it's pale or normal, but because it was a muddy mixture.
Okay, so it's not
mixed
sandwich.
in.
Pale or normal Paylor. It's just
Correct.
Paylor normal.
Correct.
Whatever it is, just make a note of it.
Okay.
And so it has grown. Yes.
Yes. But is the roots you were saying was only going through the paler soil at the bottom? 'Cause,
Ignore
like
that.
the mud. Okay, because I will be basing things off of it. So.
Okay.
Cool.
It's in the pot unless you want to unpot it to look at it.
Does it look like it needs to be put into a bigger pot?
Yes.
Cool. Do we have any bigger pots?
No.
Cool.
You
Not
didn't
even
even.
a ghost root one.
You didn't even have no, the ghost root was in like a little almost like a mason jar size thing. You had like 2 mason
Gotcha.
jars and you put one of the trees in this like a mason jar size thing, and you put the tree in that. And it's already grown up like the size of
Okay.
like my forearm.
Oh,
Yeah,
fun.
we're gonna have
okay.
to keep it from getting root
100%
bound.
need something for this guy because it might also grow in the caravan, and I don't know if we should do that.
And it did
Hey,
that
Zeke.
overnight without sunlight.
Hey Zeke, can you get in here for a quick sec?
Yeah.
Do you have any pots, or do you think Abe might? Can you like tell him to get one? I don't know if that's something that you guys do.
Pots. I don't see. Now I'm not sure if this is like a colloquial term for something, but if
Container,
you're wanting
holder.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, we don't have any pots.
Cool. Okay. Okay. We don't have anything to carry this thing.
There
Nobody's sitting
are
here like
stores where you can buy pots.
I figured, but also,
But
I
also-
don't want to spend money on Abe's plant. I just wanted to take care of it. Hey Zeke, why don't you pay for some potted pots?
What would Zeke do? Or
I feel like Zeke would be like, well, does it like need a pot? I mean, it's already kind of in a thing there, and it seems quite happy in it.
Tell me, Zeke, would you like to be contained in something where you are overgrowing and spilling out in
Well,
a tightly claustrophobic space?
When you put it that way, I'll certainly say I don't much approve of anything being contained in a space where it has to stay. At least, especially if it's ready to move beyond that, sort of keeping things trapped. Sounds like a bit of sort of an imprisonment there, and we don't like that sort of thing around here. So maybe we could find some sort of pot, something like that, depending on what kind of thing you think it needs.
Long silence. I say, yeah, lots to unpack there, but let's get a pot for this plant. Cool. And I
Sure
move on
thing.
to the next thing.
Zeke goes to retrieve a pot.
We don't have time to unpack all of that.
Just as
gonna put a
Zeke's
pause on
OOC side actions, Zeke will go buy a pot. If he can find a pot that's like made of something see-through, that would be preferable.
He cannot.
Cool.
Oh.
Fair.
I will give, because I know Zeke is a little short on change, I will give him, like, 3 silver to find a pot. I don't know how much a pot would be.
Okay.
But,
If Zeke
and I want the
goes
change back.
to the area, there is a large pot. Like the biggest pot they have is about 2.5 silver.
Excellent.
I think he'll.
It's a lot of filigree and like art and stuff like that on it.
Cool. He'll take 2. He'll use.
I only gave him 3 silver.
I think he has some of his own. Only Abe is broke. Zeke has some money.
Are you gonna use up his money on a pot?
Yeah, I might. Yeah, okay. We'll say he gets just the 1 pot for now. The 1 big pot.
Okay. What is it?
Pot shopping.
Pot shopping. He just goes to, like, it is a farming community also here, and it's easy to find, like, pots for, like, starting trees and stuff like that. He gets it, and he's coming back, and
Biggest pot.
It's a big fucking pot. It's like the size of the one that we packed away, in the pod, Nina.
Oh, sweet. Love
the
it.
size of, like, a
come
chair.
back.
Definitely need more soil.
He's just gonna come back. He's like wrapped his chains around it so he can drag it.
I'm gonna go to work on doing the whole, like 50% of the paler soil, 50% of regular soil. You mix it together, so it's like an acclimated climate bullshit plant stuff that you do to make sure your plant doesn't go into shock. Transfer the pot and then strap it down
Cool.
in the back.
All right. You
Ta-da,
have
tree.
how much soil? You have like a jar of soil, yeah?
It's a jar of soil, but I'm gonna just be like taking some loose soil from around the area.
Okay, cool.
Probably some manure, which is gross, but also, yeah.
But it's objectively the correct.
Fertilizer.
Here's the thing: we have mobile manure generation machines. I feel like there's some available.
Exactly. Done. I just really, it's
Go
gross.
say hi to Dave.
Dave, can I borrow your energy reserve?
Don't borrow it. He doesn't want it back.
I just so.
Take you kindly. Consent is important. But yeah, so I've tacked up some of the horses. We're pretty much ready to rumble. Gotta pay the barn person, so I'll do that too.
Easy enough. That is, y'all only stayed one. You already paid him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Xyriel
Yeah.
paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He does see you. He's like, I've got some hay I used to mix in with the patties. If you want one of those, I see you got a tree there.
That would be great, actually. Yes, thank you.
Like he has like a wheelbarrow that he like brings over.
Perfect.
It's full of like hay and shit.
Delightful. Nova's favorite activity. I deserve a coffee after this, but we'll get going.
You all eventually get into the caravan and motion your way over.
2 coffees to go. 3 coffees, I guess. I'll get one per Zeke.
Are you okay? So you do, as you're heading out after preparing the caravan, you do see Abe and Marlow coming back in. Y'all are stopping. Y'all going to talk to Sheila, or y'all meeting up with the caravan?
We actually, prior when we left for the caravan, I thought we were meeting with them at the knoll spot.
Right.
But if we see them when they're moving their way towards Shiloh,
I think we got done early, and so we were just headed back to meet up with them. And the idea is we'll all stop by Shiloh on our way out of town.
okay,
Cool. So you all meet up right there at like the center. It's just like south of the tavern and stuff. So like you're well within the area of the center of town, and you're all back together.
Also,
Happy.
Zeke, would give you your 3 silver back and be like, "I appreciate it. It wasn't too needed. It's fine. We got it. We're, we like to do things to appreciate it." But yeah. Anyways, on up to the front.
Sweet. Thank you for my 3 back. I'm gonna remember that.
Is everything all set here?
Everything is ready to go.
Okay. Do you guys? I know. You all really wanted to leave soon, but Xyriel has his heart set on really trying to help as much as we can, and we didn't find a lot, but we figured that we could go talk to Shiloh one more time, just to see if there's any new lessons of any kind of information.
I mean, to be clear, we didn't find a lot is a little bit of an understatement.
We found out that it was a large humanoid whose face could not be seen, and he got hurt.
Yeah, basically, it looked like there was this large thing in a cloak, and it was sneaking up. Now, I assume that's because it had no face. I'm assuming that's similar to the big faceless thing that they've been talking about before, what was related to the thieving and whatnot. But there's a bit of a trick to it. It looked like something grabbed the side of his cloak and just sort of hurled this whole big guy several feet on over into a door, broke the door in the process. Like I said, something just used an awful lot of force. Looked like it was none too pleased. Wasn't able to get much more information than that, sadly.
And how did you get this information?
Oh, we found a little, and I'll hold up the scrap of cloth. We found this. It was sort of, Marlow, I should say, did. She was looking on over at the door that I mentioned. Got smashed up a bit, and we found this.
It was very oddly smashed up, too. It was only in the top right and bottom left, so...
I reckon that's because the big boy sort of hit it when he was flying backwards.
Yeah, but that also means that that's not... They didn't break the door down to get the effigy.
True.
Just whatever slammed it in there. So.
But that was kind of my point, is that if this same big guy is the one that was doing the thieving and in town, there's no way he's crawling through windows and chimneys. So he's got to be
more than just one person.
Yeah, but I still think that supports our theory, reckoning also that we didn't find any tracks. This big lad, he can just sort of...
I mean, I am not
yeet
willing
himself around places
to put my name on any theory without more information.
That's okay. I'll put my name
We've already
on
made
it.
enough assumptions that have been proven wrong, and have worked on those assumptions and ignored
This
others.
is not the
okay,
first time that we have encountered a being that is not corporeal in our adventures.
Well, I'll certainly put my name on that theory. I mean, it's not a fact yet. It's just something for us to test out. But I reckon it's a pretty solid direction the evidence might go. There are other things, of course, too. But anyways, nothing solid enough for us to really come up with any solutions on. And Marlow was suggesting that since we saw what's his face, T guy, he
I like Shiloh.
half of Shiloh. Yeah, she was saying that maybe we should stop by him, see what he's learned on the way out of town, sort of as a last-ditch effort. But well, like I was saying earlier, I don't reckon we can spend too much longer on all this unless we find just a real solid lead, because we got to go
Is Xyriel
tend our
with
own
the party?
fires.
He's not.
Okay. I'm gonna look up and around and see if I can spot him. He's nowhere.
No, you don't see him anywhere.
Okay. I look at Marlow and I go, "Where's Xyriel?" There's a kitten to be.
Oh. There's a kitten.
There's a kitten.
Well, he decided to. He's much better at finding tracks and things than I am. So he wanted to look and see if he could find any trace of whatever the faceless creature was. And he said he would meet us back later, and if we really couldn't find anything, that he understands that he made a commitment to move forward. That's you'd be willing to do so.
My money's on some cult for a faceless god, but I haven't ruled out some big faceless beastie working for some kind of stealing dickbag yet. I don't know. Something in that range is kind of where I'm going right now.
The only faceless god I really thought of immediately was Mask. Again, it's a lot of information.
Can I roll to see if I know of any gods that behavior sounds very accurate or reasonable, or any thievery groups that are located up in this area that I've heard about?
Yes, you can roll a history check.
Excellent. 14 plus 9, so math 23.
Again, it's like, you know, which coat of, can I think of I know all the coat of arms, but which ones have the color yellow in them? It's like you could think of like 30.
Okay.
And it's like a very like broad like number, like you could think of like, well, that could be anything. This is very like it's not a niche situation.
Generally predisposed to certain locations and races of individuals. With a maybe religious or stone like focused I don't know, theme, or like typically have that kind of style for architecture. Like,
it's like we're doing a database query.
We also did have
we
did have the imagery of the icon that was described to us by Sheila as well.
Yeah, it's like we're doing a database query with
That's exactly
with
how
large creatures, the color purple, the symbols from Shiloh, faceless, and
that's exactly
thieving. Yes. And those are like search tags.
If you when you add the search tag of like purple sash with like rectangle or chess piece, it like deletes the search basically of like your brain. So like
mentally
nothing.
I mean like mentally like you're like okay, so like maskless or like faceless god who does tricky stuff and steals, like evil, blah blah blah, takes.
Does it have to be evil? Can it just be?
I mean, like
thieving.
Stealing, thieving, usually just like negative plane or like chaotic plane stuff like that side. And you think of it, you're like, all right, I got like 30 that I can think of, and then you think like rectangle, nothing.
Okay.
Purple. 10, but like nothing that's very descriptive.
But I wouldn't be searching for purple if the cloth was a
sash is
gray.
purple. The sash that Shiloh told us about was purple.
Mm-hmm. I see.
And they were all wearing purple sashes.
I see.
But because the I will say, because the piece of cloth that you picked up was like Abe cast that spell on just that cloth, so it's going to show what that cloth does.
Exactly.
Nothing around that.
Put it on the door, or
So, if you had done it on the door, it would have shown the door breaking. If you had done it but since you did it on the cloth, you saw the figure going.
Yep.
But that was it.
Okay. Yeah, I can't really say that I know enough to be able to whittle down, and actually this has thrown everything kind of a wrench in the loop, because I don't know of any groups or organizations that are typically thieving types with this kind of color scheme, or whatever the icon is called, crest.
Well, now you kind of reached the point that we were at, where it's just not quite enough to go on. So I reckon we just see if Shiloh has anything and then head on out of town, because I don't reckon he probably will.
Yep, I've got half a coffee left. We can go talk to Shiloh, and we'll locate Xyriel. And I glance around for Xyriel again.
Oh, he's probably gonna be checking things out. We're gonna just meet him out there, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
I look
a
over at Val to almost like wait for her to say whether or not she's okay with that approach.
Sorry, could you repeat the approach?
Going up to Shiloh and talking about whether or not they had figured out anything new in the span of a coffee. Because I have one travel coffee, and as soon as that is finished, I'm ready to rumble.
I think it would be remiss if we left without contacting the mayor, as it were. So I believe we do have enough time to go speak with him before we head off.
Great.
Good.
It's good to say our goodbyes as well. So
Glad to see you're looking shiny this morning, Val.
What was that supposed to mean?
Just because the armor, I was trying to.
Oh, was it a joke? Okay, sorry. Yes, that is. Yes, I am very shiny, as it were.
Good talk.
Good talk.
You all continue on. There is like a little bit of a break that you can see that just in time to like for you to catch Shiloh as he kind of trails off after like looking over some papers, and he's got like a clipboard of stuff that he's like going through and is talking to two of the guards around the city. These two you haven't met yet, but sees you approach. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey there. Lovely day out.
we wanted to ask you if you, and I interject and I go, we wanted to ask you if you, first off, we're headed out and we wanted to thank you for your hospitality, and second off, wanted to ask if you had found anything else about and I look over to Marlow and I go, the stealing circumstance.
So we have a fairly concise report of what people are missing. There wasn't really any breaking of or stealing of anything else. It seemed like very precise. Valuables for the most part are spared, and it seems that it was just religious iconography from all around. More likely icons of Her Lady herself, and others of various other deities that are worshipped around these parts. Pelor a couple of times, and I believe there was a few instances of some other generically, Moradin, and we do have a clan that has moved over here. But it's just been religious iconography for the most part.
Okay. Well, we've discovered a little bit more information, and
Wonderful.
we give it to you, so you may better utilize whatever we have discovered.
I'd like to, as they're talking to him, I'm just gonna like casually shimmy around the side, and I'm literally just gonna lean over Shiloh and start copying all the notes from his book.
Oh my god.
I was just gonna move slightly to the other side.
If you'd like a copy, I can write you up one real fast, young fellow.
What? Oh, no. Well, I've got kind of a talent for copying things myself. Plus, I'm writing kind of a funny script that you might
Say
not
no more.
understand. Yeah.
Fine enough. Here, Jerry, please. And
Oh,
hands it
thank
off. So one of the guards is like kind of like holding it out while you can scribe it off.
Cool. I'm just gonna keep using the scribe cantrip to just whole page of text. Now I have it. Whole page of text. Now I have it.
Awesome. It
Nova gets kind of irritated seeing that because she spent that whole night writing down everything from the caves, but she doesn't say anything. You just see her like kind of grit her teeth a little bit, like I could have just used a scribe cantrip for this.
Marlow's just looking at
Hand made it instead.
Physics at this party, and she's like, "So, we found moving on."
I'd like to think that the way this looks is literally Abe just like he turns the page, and then as he like sort of waves his hand over it, his eyes spark up a bit and his hand just moves crazy fast as like a little bit of flame comes from the end of the quill as it goes down the page.
it's like the laser scanner.
Yeah,
and
exactly. Yes.
You're just a laser printing. Oh, found something. I saw you all as I was peering off. I saw you all making your way over towards the prairie.
Yes, the Knolls were helpful and absolutely welcoming. And when we investigated the area, we found.
And I'm just gonna hold my hand out to Abe real fast in the midst of his.
Oh, yeah, it's I put it right in the jacket.
We found a torn cloth from a cloak. We believe there's some blood on it. Abe was kind enough to do quite a lovely, wonderful spell. So if you hear anything weird about us, please.
Standard investigation. I wouldn't worry about it none too much.
Yep. So the facts that we were able to recover was that there was a large individual, which was most likely either a orc, half-orc, Goliath, bugbear, herbal, or maybe even dragonborn without a tail. They completely faceless, just like your report said, and they were thrown against the door before they needed to be doing, and that's the description of the individual that we could get, thanks to Abe. Other than that, just theory and thoughts.
Now, when she says that it was faceless, she doesn't mean that we couldn't see what its face was. She means quite literally that it had no face. Like it was all like gray, sort of like picture a waterfall made of gray light.
Oh goodness! Oh wow!
Yeah. So your people aren't crazy. They just saw something real.
We never thought that they were crazy or assumed such things.
I thought they might be. To be fair.
Hey, Case, can I make like a check to see if a faceless entity rings any bells?
Okay, we've done this like 3 times.
Yeah, I know, but like I'm not making a religious check. I'm making a specific background check.
A history of Val check.
Sure. Make a history check.
Yeah, just to see if that's anything I've encountered, like not religiously though. Oh wow, that's an 18.
18.
Most specifically, does it ring any bells to things that I've encountered that are spooky?
I would say the way that they're describing it, doesn't really ping anything in particular as something that you've seen that's been like no face or like lack thereof.
Okay, so not similar to that. Got it. Okay, cool. That's all I wanted to know.
Gotcha. Grejo, thank you for the 10 subs. You're amazing. We're glad to have you here.
We really do appreciate
Thank
it.
you. You're the best. Thank you.
You're the bomb, bud. I had to say that twice because I was muted.
Sheila does speak up and says, I'm not sure of any groups around here that are following any kind of masked or faceless one. There is, I'm sure you all know of the city down just to the far over to the west or east of here of Sliger. It is more of a anarchist society, and there has been tracings of a few thieving gods there. But I have not had any personal experience there myself, only people who have come through or issues within the local populace of having to deal with ruffians along the roads that kind of make that area their home. It's not out of the realm to think that they would make their way over here, but it is worrisome that they, if that was the possibility, there would be more goods missing. There was many times where I heard that there was money laying in the same drawer that the idol was taken from. So this is not a very average thieving situation, unfortunately. The sash was better identified, though. The one that was noted on a few times. It is more of a like a castle figure from the chess games.
A rook?
Yes. And there's not been any. We asked around the local guards and the ones even from Aldenair that had been sent over. A few of them landed there this morning, and none of them have heard of any rook-like characters or anything like that, or organizations or anything like that. But could be something to go off of.
Is it something Nova can go off of? Based off of both now knowing Selgas and also the Rook.
With your past checks, this doesn't add anything. This solidifies that like a Rook indeed is not really like any specific entity that matches anything like this. But the good thing is that no one was hurt, and I can't see them. Well, I would hope that they don't return. And the fact that they didn't take anything. We are on high alert now and have beefed up our securities. And I appreciate you all investigating this topic. And if you are on your way to Kolkirk, I wish you fair tidings and a safe road.
Thank you.
I'm also going to take a quick look at his chest to see if I can see a small indentation of the key thing from behind, like, whatever he's wearing, just to double check.
Make a perception.
Okay.
Zeke is gonna pull Abe down to sort of the side for a second, and they're just gonna mutter amongst themselves. And then Abe will scribble in his book for a minute, and then tearing out a page again, he'll fold it neatly twice and pass it to Shiloh. And as he does, he'll say, "You know, it's unfortunate that in our sort of our situation we found ourselves in here, we weren't able to help y'all out more. But I just, if people are taking religious things, you got something here in this town that might be what they're really looking for. So I'd just maybe take some extra time, keep things safe. If you need it, you got this. Here you go. All right."
It is appreciated. I will make sure to keep our everything in order. I did remind me, though, as I said it, if you could have, since you are on your way to Kolkirk, I was expecting a messenger pigeon to come over back today, or a hawk from over there. It's only quite the fast journey, a flight from them, and it hasn't shown, and it's already almost midday, and communication has been almost flitting the past several weeks. This could be just me being paranoid about this whole situation, or something. But I would just be cautious going to Kolkirk. It has been, I guess, a bit more quiet from that area. There's been less transfer of goods from their local mines in the past week or so.
Thank you for the information. Keep an eye out. We'll stay safe.
We'll tread carefully. And I made a 21.
For
the perception to see if he still had his little...
Yeah.
Yeah.
He do still have it.
Good. And I'm going to hold my hand out. And if he'll take it, shake hands and say thank you again. Keep her safe.
He just gives a knowing smile and a nod, and then takes the clipboard as you finish scribing it on the side and says, "Well, time to listen to more complaints. Duty calls."
Didn't even shake my hand. Gosh dang it.
Oh, did you extend a handshake?
Yeah, she did.
Oh,
I just
Michael
move
didn't hear
my
that.
hand away, and I'm like, it's fine. It's fine.
No.
Oh,
Case-
yeah.
case-
Do that.
As Abe closes his book,
That
and
didn't
walks
register in
by,
Case's mind. He shakes your hand.
As Abe closes his book and starts to walk by Nova, he's gonna just pause for a second. You gotta be more careful with their handshaking thing you seem so fond of. That's like as a way to wind up agreeing to something you don't intend to.
I appreciate it. I'm careful, and typically up here, it's more of a cordial appreciation for someone, almost like and I wave my hand like a hello, thank you.
All I'm saying
no
is,
handshake, cool.
and he'll just sort of awkwardly.
It's okay. You're not liable to anything. It will not bite. Boom,
Awkward.
sold your soul. Nova's like all proud of like her joke and like walks away.
He's just standing there like awkwardly.
I turn back.
No.
I'm kidding. I did
No,
not
it's-
sell your soul.
No, I'd have known that because you'd have had to argue with somebody else and it'd have been a whole thing. Anyways,
Throws up a thumb. speaking of, we've got an interesting thing for you in the caravan. Come here.
As
That was
Not
not
a-
whatsoever. I think Val was trying to say something though.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I was just going to give Sheila a small bow before leaving. That's it. That's all I was doing.
Yeah. You know, usual Marlow Val. Good to see you. Good day, sir.
Good day. The coffee's done. I'm feeling great. Very, like, peppy. Slept in. It's a wonderful day for Nova. She doesn't get one of those days a lot. Where's Xyriel?
Xyriel, no, sorry. Did you say where's Xyriel?
Yeah, I was just kind of going through
Oh,
a bit.
okay.
We're good.
My bad. Alright, as you
No, we're trying to
all-
joke. Just crickets.
It's good. It's good.
As you
Cool,
all,
guys. Humor is totally my forte.
continue on to the caravan. You see the new new potted tree. It has grown 4 inches since the last time you saw it. As you pulled the caravan out of the sun, out of the area, and put it in sunlight, it has since grown 4 inches.
We might
So,
want to stop that from growing before it gets too big to travel with.
Yep, not quite sure how big it's gonna get. But yeah, this was one night, and it's
That's
grown.
my that's my plant.
That's your plant.
Your plant now stands about like your leg tall in the pot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's gonna grow taller than me at this point, and that's not terrifying whatsoever.
No, it's fine. He's a good plant, and I sort of like pat the plant.
You should have plants with your. Okay. Yeah.
Roll a Constitution save, no.
It's a Whomping Willow, surprise.
I mean, kinda, yeah.
in
We just like tie it to our caravan, so like the people who chase us have to deal with like those Mario like
Yes.
Venus flytraps. Sorry, sorry. Continue.
you got a pot for it, or who planted it?
I point back over at Zeke, and I don't say anything.
Well, she planted it. I'm still saying
Oh
Sheila.
yeah, well no,
Yeah, I was like, that's a bit Shiloh. Like, I was like, why Shiloh?
Sheila. Oh well, nah, that's might have thought of you there, Nova.
Tommy.
That it looks great.
Bless you. Bless you.
A bless you.
Blay to blay.
It looks great.
Abe, do you have
Wow.
allergies?
Kind of
That's the
everything
kindness.
up here. I reckon I just haven't acclimatized yet to the, less sulfur. Anyways, so the plant, is that still in the same soil you had from earlier, or?
Yeah, and I actually crouched down. I had to do a half and half mixture of the Halor soil that we had it in prior for propagation, and we mixed it with a little bit more fertilizer and fiber.
And
Don't
at this
put your
point,
hand in there.
at this point, Abe is actually gonna put his
Don't put your-
glasses on, and he was like about to scoop some up in his hand.
I'm gonna like swat his hand. Don't put your hand in there.
You can see.
I mean,
that
you can, but
the-
Because of the soil, or because of the?
because we got some Dave debris in there.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
The,
I had heard. I think somewhere that was good.
But do we see if the
What do we
Taylor
see?
soil? Yeah. What do we
the bit that, so it's not entirely in light. It's just like a couple leaves, like half the thing, half the pot is in light, and the part that is in light has all the soil has all adopted that dark burgundy coloration that was originally in the bottle of Pelor soil.
Cool. I'm
Interesting.
actually not with my hands going to take a vial and scoop a little bit of that out so that I can do some microscopic analysis later.
I was actually gonna suggest we do that same thing.
Perfect. You can join.
What is a microscope?
Guys, I understand that this is important to you, but can we kind of like on the way?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
absolutely. That
we
makes
weren't
complete
saying
sense. We can
later.
do that. Yeah.
I second.
Mhm.
I was ready to go. I was like in the caravan. I was waiting for someone to start
Yeah.
rumble.
Yeah. I was
Sorry.
gonna say Zeke is just driving us out of town. If
Yeah.
This is all happening.
Well, we don't
You're-
quite have Xyriel yet, so let's not be.
Bella's like
Xyriel's
already
on
on
the
her horse.
You're all making your way out the east gate, geez, this is not like an epic procession of you guys. I don't know why I keep on.
Dave
having
like
this on.
nibbles on like Marlo's hair as she's like,
No,
"Can we go?"
no, she does not, because I am far away from that horse. I do not like horses.
I
I'm not a fan of
know that.
horses.
Big, just.
Why
Why do people keep doing
You make your way out, and you can see from here there's a small gathering of gnolls. They're all kind of like making like almost like this semicircle around Xyriel.
Can you gain followers?
Found the boy.
Xyriel.
As we come up, does it look like Xyriel is talking?
Yes, he looks like he's very excitedly like gesturing.
I'm gonna just thaumaturgy him so I can hear what he's saying as we come up.
You cannot do that. You have to touch someone to
Oh,
thaumaturgy.
damn it.
Jesus Christ.
That makes me so sad. Okay.
He does say like, "Hey, I found something,
Yeah.
and also, thank you, thank you." And then like he like is like headbutting like 15 gnolls. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're gonna have to talk later.
He
Got like
takes
a little
second.
red spot right here.
Abe just walks up to get more information, and he's like, "Hey!" And as he's doing that, so he just like grabs Abe too, and just
Thank you. This whoa. I helped them out a little bit with something, and they gave me this. Don't know what it is, and he hands it to Marlow. I think you can use it. It looks kind of neat. It's got like it's like a little mini. It's like I don't know. They said they found it in the woods nearby, or one of the kids did, and they don't know how to use it. But it makes
Sounds
noises.
great. It what? Sorry.
It makes
I'm sorry.
noises.
It
And
makes noises.
it looks like, and you see, it's like a miniature form of this circular, like, it looks like a big metal box with a single, like a upside down L-shaped little, like, chimney. It looks like it's like a wide hexagon cube-ish thing.
Okay.
And in front of it is like this little bitty tiny fan.
Is it an instrument of some sort?
It
Mechanical?
reminds me of like they said that it blew up real big one day, and they didn't know what it was, and then it went away after a few hours, or whenever like stuff stopped being on fire. It was weird to understand. I don't know,
Things are on fire.
but I found tracks.
Okay, awesome. We can look at this later.
And I'm gonna look imploringly
I'll take that.
over.
Yep, thank you kindly. And I'm going to excitedly, but also kind of gingerly, take the certain potentially explosive device.
Okay.
Abe
Should we
will just like
investigate
get on the
tracks?
other side so we can like.
Abe's like explode. Do it. Do it. I want to
Please
see.
no.
Like,
Not until I have
there's a
20
moment where he's just
back.
like, I could just throw it.
There are protocols and procedures here we need to take.
Marlow sitting there sweating,
Tracks.
like, why did I do this? Why did I give this thing to them? Why
Look, I'm
was this
just
the decision?
yeah. No,
Uh,
you're right. Because if we just exploded it right now, we couldn't figure out how to explode it like again in
Please
the
don't
future.
explode the gift I got from Xyriel.
So
No, I wasn't. I'm just meaning if it's like an exploding gift. If that's,
I'm going to use my specialized skill to stabilize said thing, so it does not explode unless we intentionally want it to.
Okay. Easily.
Okay. Look at the chat. Oh, do you
Hey, that's 20. So I
Wow.
didn't even need my plus 10 for that
Con
one.
it.
Cool. So it's
Wait.
definitely very secure.
Did you say look at the chat? What?
Me look in the chat.
I don't know. I heard someone.
I don't think
say,
anyone said look at the chat.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you guys heard you
Said
say.
let's
look at
should
the-
we look at the tracks?
Oh, look at the tracks. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He points over and you can see like he says, I did a thing that I learned recently, and it helped me to see some tracks. And there was like 5 sets of tracks underneath the dust that was like cleared away, and they were coming in, and then they went back this way.
Okay. I think that nixes the teleportation idea and the being a one-person idea.
Big. There was 3 sets of big feet and 2 sets of like my sized feet.
Okay.
Not the same person going back and forth. 3 different sets.
It was
There's
this.
5 sets.
It looks like the same
5 going in,
5
5
sets
leaving.
coming in and then going out the same way.
Like 5
So-
people walked into town and then
So
5
at least
people
they,
left the town.
So at least they walk around. I guess that means we can
Yes.
follow them.
Yeah.
I would do it again, but I
No, it's fine. I believe
one
you.
of yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
So, who votes for following Xyriel on a detour?
I'm going to defer to Val. So I look at Val.
It's on the road that we're going on.
If it's on the way, then I don't mind, but we are not taking a detour.
I don't think you can make that decision for all of us, Val. I'm sorry.
We're voting, right? I don't vote for a detour.
Fair. That's a fair vote. Because we do kind of have our own stuff we're doing. Shoot, I'd sure like to. Well, I guess we can see if it's on the way. I just kind of want to save us headache later. We can keep them from. I don't know. I don't trust it. Them screwing around with another town that has a shard. Anyways, guess we're on the road.
What does Zeke say? I'm actually curious.
I think Zeke votes to not take the detour and to just stay on the
I think
road.
Xyriel would vote for the detour.
50,
I mean, I'm just saying that there was a time where you guys once basically lambasted me and interrogated me because you said if there was somebody who needed help on the side of the road, I would ignore them.
Oh yeah, that's because at the time you were refusing to do anything else. So yeah, that growth or very confusing motivations. I don't know, whichever of the two.
Or you
agree
can say
with the current
hypocrisy from you
analysis.
guys too. I'm just saying.
Oh no, I was thinking you were the one being a hypocrite, but I don't think we need to get into all of that.
I'm sorry. I believe my words were it depends and I would do it if necessary.
Right,
Yeah.
and
You're judging and skipping out on helping this town.
I don't want to get into all the
We're not
details
skipping
right
out
now.
on helping this town. We asked them if they wanted our help, and they said no.
No, not quite.
She ain't strictly wrong. I mean, the first time we asked if they wanted help, they did kind of say no. But
We asked Shiloh if he wanted help protecting the shard, and he said no.
I don't think this
So-
has helped protecting the shard. I think this is a problem that these townsfolk are having.
Well,
And we are choosing to leave them alone when it's something that we can possibly help with.
Well, it seems that the people who have perpetrated this crime are already gone. They got what they came for.
That's a bold
strictly,
assumption.
I probably wouldn't care none too much about the thieving if I didn't think that it was probably related to the thieves looking for another shard, because I'd reckon they could handle it on their own. But as it was, that was why I cared.
Also going to be very quiet and is just going to continue like listening, watching eyes, but also like stabilize said explosive device. But she's staying out of it entirely.
If we go looking for trouble, we will always find it.
I'm sorry, is that not exactly what happened with this entire group coming together? Was everyone was looking for trouble? You can't choose and say, don't look for trouble when that's what we've done this entire time.
I respectfully disagree. I've been on a quest this entire time.
So you didn't go help kill Ankegs and go help kill ghosts and other things. What makes those different than right now?
Because nobody's asking us to do this.
I'm asking you. Xyriel is asking you.
It directly conflicts with something we've already been tasked with.
Does it? Because it's kind of sort of already on the way, and...
I said if it was on the way, we could do it. I'm just against a detour. I feel like we are forgetting this information.
Okay, so when I got yelled at because I didn't want to go with Nova into her thing, how is that not the same thing, except we know that we're helping people, and people have told us what's going on?
I kind of look at Nova. Nova assured me that that would not deter from our mission, so I was not opposed to it. She said it would take us in the direction we needed to go.
I don't think she said that.
So this, yeah.
She assured me it would not.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! My name is being tossed around, and I am still present.
I look at Nova and I said, "Did you not tell me that what you wanted to do would not?"
Correct. I did specify one-on-one that it would not deter from the quest. In fact, I actually believe it would have expedited our ultimate goal. Several goals, actually, simultaneously. 3 birds with 1 stone. Anyways, I'm not a big fan of conflict in group discussions. If there's any issues or discussion of me or what I said, I prefer having those conversations one-on-one. And
Noted.
I continue to go into the explosive stabilizing mode.
Are we having this conversation while walking, or are we just standing?
Yeah, I assume we're on the caravan.
We're
Y'all
in the
are on
caravan.
Y'all are on the
Okay.
road.
Yeah. I assume we were moving.
That would be
Zeke was-
less on edge if we were moving.
That was why I said, you know what else would move us in that direction? Yeah.
I'm just saying, I made a promise to Xyriel, and Xyriel wants to help these people.
You all
I'm
also
sure.
made a promise to me, but okay.
Actually, I didn't. My promise was to go where Xyriel wanted to go.
I have a
I said I
contract
would-
says I'm gonna help you out, so I have
I
a
think the
vested
contract is
interest.
actually to find the shard. If you
Yeah,
could
yeah.
go back that far.
Well,
Not
strictly,
specifically.
I'm here because Zeke's here, and Zeke's here because he's got a bleeding heart and decided that finding the shard was important to protect people. So my way of reasoning it would sort of look like this. If we're on the way to get said shard, we got to figure out how to get it back. We're hoping we can just yank it back from whoever currently got their grubbing mitts on it, but whoever took that shard might also be looking for this one, so it just seemed like a sort of efficient matter of course to check out who might have been trying to take this one, assuming that my supposition about what they're looking for is correct. as that give us an efficient line on the people that we're supposed to be finding in the first place. Now, as I told you earlier, Xyriel, I didn't want to spend too long, risk losing the people we're currently following, so I don't know how much time we can reasonably sort of take off as we're going along here, but I think it's worth looking into, just so long as we're not taking any of our travel time off too much to do it, because we're trying to catch up to people.
We never said that we had to completely divert for weeks or months, but I think ignoring this and immediately saying that we're not going to help these people is a mistake.
I look at Val and I give like a little suggested nod and return back to explosive stuff.
We do have a timeline that we are operating on, and I feel as if I have not been forthright with said timeline.
Honestly, though, the more information would be better. You don't have to share it, but I'm just saying that I do have my own goals.
I am aware that we all have our own goals, but I was under the impression that you all had agreed to assist.
For what it's
If
worth,
that was
Shard back.
if that was a wrong assumption, yes, getting the shard back is my goal, because getting the shard back will help me with what I need.
Oh.
And since we all agreed to get the shard, I thought that that would be our priority. I understand that people prioritize things differently, but I do have a timeline that I am operating on.
For what it's worth, I'm here because we have a contract saying that we're going to help you out to get this shard thing. I don't really care why you want it done, and I assumed the supposition of the contract was as soon as reasonably possible, so I don't care. And then Zeke from the front, I do. I care, though.
Listen, I'm here to help people, and this town needs help. And that's what it comes down to.
Yes, but you cannot take on so many things at once, especially since it comes down to timing, I suppose. The people here, they are in need, but their lives are not being directly threatened by this.
Probably.
And I do also say that we offered our help and they said no.
Shiloh
anyway.
did want our help with the investigation.
Yeah,
of
he did.
Thefts. He just didn't want our help protecting the shard, which are sort of different things, but I think they're actually the same thing. But that's just Abe theories talking. I'm just, usually right almost all the time. Don't worry about it.
Nova snickers. But like very subtly, where it's not rude, she realizes she snickers, realizes how inappropriate it is given the context that Nova knows. That's like really upset with herself, looks at Val and goes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it in...
It's all right. I know you were not laughing at our current issue. Fine. If it will help with prioritizing, I was under the impression that we were friends and that you were doing this as not only for the greater good, but as a personal favor, because my life depends upon us finding this.
How so?
I am under the impression, it's not confirmed, but I'm under the impression that if I do not find the shard in a timely manner so that the Dawn Father's magic is restored, that this affliction that I have been dealt will kill me.
When?
I don't know. and I don't want to wait to find out.
If it's actively killing you, you know you have a timeline.
You know, having a glowing crater coming out of your abdomen does not give off good vibes.
Yes, but I'm also not, and I don't mean to sound unsympathetic, but I am not one prone to making assumptions as best I can.
Marlow,
And you said we have a very strict timeline, but that's not what I'm hearing.
We do. It is as soon as possible. The sooner we solve this problem, the sooner my life is not in danger, and I would prefer for my life to not be in danger as quickly as possible.
I do understand that, and I agree that we should hasten our travels and do what we can for you as soon as possible, but I'm not going to prioritize one person's life over other things. I do want you to know that. And I'm not saying I won't help, I will gladly help. And I am more than willing to say, yes, if this track takes us far off course, even more less than far, then we can abandon it. But I want to be extremely clear here and say I am not going to prioritize you over certain things that I care about.
What's Xyriel's reaction?
He's not here.
He's
He's not.
he's leading ahead of you to the tracks that he's found already. You imagine he is probably within earshot of all this, but
I'm not saying that my life is more important than others. I'm just saying that
you're on an arbitrary clock and it might be coming due soon.
it is not arbitrary.
I only mean in the sense that to us, we have no idea how long it'll take, and so the time at which the last little grain runs out of the sand dial could be, lunchtime today, or it could be 5 weeks from now, or it could be after you live a long life, have 3 kids, and settle down on a farm with several dairy cows and some friends who help you milk the owls or whatever people do up here.
I just was under the assumption that friends prioritize each other.
Val, I really do not mean to be rude. And I think it's going to come off as rude. However, I don't want to hurt your feelings. However, friendship is not something that comes easy to me.
It does to Xyriel.
Want to be clear, yes, to Xyriel, but I'm not Xyriel.
But you care about what Xyriel cares about.
Why are we bringing in Xyriel here when this is about you, and he's not currently here?
I reckon because he clearly has some sort of vested interest in Val and her whole ordeal, is the point that's being made.
And she's holding up the friendship bracelets.
Yes, the friendship bracelet that you refused to put on because he wanted to help people.
Because he was prioritizing people.
Because he had his own priorities, his own life, his own things that he wanted to do. You guys
Because loyalty is
literally
something that is
questioned
very
everything.
important to me. And it made it seem like he did not care that I was dying, Marlow. You
Well,
care
you
when
did
your
not
friends
make that
are dying.
clear.
I'm making it clear now.
Sure, I understand that, but just because you're upset doesn't give you the right to accost my friend and say things that he thinks are important are not. And that's what it came off as.
I mean, if I may, now there's a word we sometimes use in the legal sense. We call someone a mediator. They'll sit between 2 individuals who have varying points of view, and they'll act as a sort of middle ground to help discuss the issue. Now, it sounds to me on your side here, Marlow, like you are wishing to explain some grievances you have with Val, where you believe that perhaps her actions when she was discussing her opinion with Xyriel were overly harsh or aggressive. Now, do you believe that extended to the point of causing some sort of direct harm to Xyriel, or are you worried about some sort of future harm that might be caused?
My point is that Val has had a history in this group with not considering other people's perspectives and thoughts. And she has physically punched you, and we have had that conversation. However, again, she needs to understand that people do have their own wants and wishes, and they may not always align. I also do want to add an addendum here that the scenario
I'm literally
for Val
scribbling notes as this is happening.
the scenario for Val is much more serious than both of us thought, and that is obviously something that Xyriel would love and wish to help you with, because he's out there and cannot currently speak for himself.
Right. Okay, so your primary grievance. So your primary grievance is over the lack of consideration for the potential goals with others prior to the admittance of new evidence to this case in the form of Val's undetermined time of death, which may be a result of us not completing our primary mission. In addition to perhaps an assault case, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Val, if you'd like to go ahead, before you address the issues which Marlow has brought up here, if you could just express kind of what you're attempting to communicate, any grievances you might have.
First off, I would like to say that I did not accost Xyriel. That would imply that I had attacked him. I spoke sternly with Xyriel, but I did not accost him. It was a stern...
Marlow, I will have to inform you that while Val is making her statement, I'd appreciate it if she wants to correct
my words and say that her words are correct over my own. I think I have a right to defend myself.
Oh yeah, no, you certainly do. I'm just trying to separate the times for the initial statements and then the cross-questioning between the two.
Nova pulls out, like, from her little medical bag, a test tube and holds it out and just, like, puts it down in the center and just stops and just sits there. Doesn't do anything else.
I'll slide the
test
tube.
Can we just... I'm sorry, can we
Val's
just talk
side.
like adults and not have...
This has actually worked wonders in our work and lab, and it's very clear that we are not giving everyone the space to talk. And
how about we try it one more time, please?
Sounds good. Val, would you like to continue with your initial statement?
Is this a talking vial?
I did not mean with you as mediator.
It is a talking vial.
I would like to talk just like normal people.
May I take the talking vial?
Yes, you may take the talking vial.
Okay,
I mean,
I take the talking vial.
if you'd like, then I reckon that's fair. I find that usually mediated debates have a more equitable resolution.
I mean,
for the whole group.
I don't mind you mediating.
It's just this part is kind of just keeps going when we could actually make the way.
Okay. I kind of just hold up the talking vial, like, all right, cool. So I asked you all for help with this matter, and I was under the impression that you were all aware of its time-sensitive nature, but it has come to my attention that it was an assumption on my part, and for that I apologize. I would like to rectify this and prevent any further confusion on the matter by formally stating that I am afraid that I am going to die. And I thought that you all were helping me, and I thought that the reason I got angry was because I thought that Xyriel cared more about strangers than friends, which I'm not wrong in considering he considers us friends, and I understand that he has a big heart and wants to help others, and I too do see the value in helping others. It just hurt because loyalty is something that is very important to me, and it is my personal belief that friends should be loyal to each other above all else. And maybe that's something that is not a similar thought process for you all, and I am sorry that I keep trying to push my values onto other people, and I'm sorry that I was not upfront with this information. While I'm no stranger to interpersonal communication, I find it easier to give orders than to be vulnerable and honest. So with that being said, I'm really sorry that I snapped at Xyriel, and that I made the assumption based on information that had not been clearly stated. For that oversight, for that outburst, I apologize. I hope that with this clarification, my emotions and state make my actions understandable. Not excused, but understandable. I do consider you all friends, and that is the only reason that I reacted so strongly.
Okay.
I hand her the talking
I
vial.
take the stick.
I hand her the vial.
I take the
I
vial
am
and
not-
just
I'm
pass it
not
over to
doing
Marlow.
I'm gonna put the vial down
Good.
and say, for all help, talk to help, and
We shall
I would
see.
like to
That
answer. Yes, you're really helping so much right now, Mr. Mediator.
I appreciate his help.
I would first. Go ahead.
Oh, or at least the sentiment. I understand that he is trying to help in the best way that he knows how.
I do believe the mediator is a good idea. Forgets
I would
that
rather
she should
not
have grabbed the tube, but
have
motions
others-
to the tube and says, and then looks at Marlow.
I appreciate the clarity, and I appreciate the apologies. I do think there's apologies necessary on my end as well. I did not understand where you were coming from. And again, I think a lot of my words were taken at an emotional value that I did not intend. I simply, I wish I knew this beforehand, but I think everyone has reported their own secrets, so I understand not necessarily wanting to speak and be vulnerable. I think you have every right to keep up whatever shields you find necessary. And I want to clarify that I would gladly help you. And I do want to get this shard back, and if it helps you, that is twofold a great thing. However, I would just, for my own personal stake in things, I would like to mitigate your expectations of me as a person and as a friend. I am not entirely sure I can uphold those things, and I'm not entirely in agreement to our relationship. I'll just say this to be clear. Nothing else. I don't mean to offend you, and I will do my best, especially while we travel together, to help you with whatever you need done. But I don't want any miscommunications amongst us. That being said, if you feel that strongly about going specifically straight to Kolkirk and to Aldenair, I suppose that my own views are quite strong, and I'm used to upholding those things, despite everyone else going against them. However, if this is something that you feel strongly about and that Xyriel agrees to, then we can continue straight to Aldenair with a minor exception of something that I have to do. And it should not take long. But it is something that I must do.
well,
Is there... Well, first, thank you for your understanding in the matter.
Giving a glare to
I don't
Abe.
mean...
Abe is totally unfazed. Like, you're he's just, his face is just that constant, like, he just the lawyer thing he does where he just straight face, book in hand.
I don't mean to make your values seem lesser than mine. That is not what my intention was. Since I know you don't consider us close, which that makes perfect sense, but you are someone that I have loyalty to. So just as you have, I will express loyalty to your needs just as you express loyalty to mine. So it's not a one-way thing. So if you have something that you need done, I will gladly do it. I just want to make sure that I am also getting that consideration in return. And if you feel very strongly about looking at these tracks, I don't mind stopping and looking. I would just want to know that my needs are also being taken into consideration. I feel like there is a balance here that can be made. We don't have to do all one thing or all the other. We are a team of sorts.
Group of individuals towards one common goal.
I would say work associates at the minimum.
I feel that these are all the same
Those are
terms,
synonyms.
but okay. So I've already expressed that if what we're doing isn't a full-on detour, I am comfortable with it. I just want everybody to be aware of what is troubling me, I suppose, because Nova brought it to my attention that I had not been clear.
Now, if I might interject for one moment, Val, I do appreciate your effort here to clarify some of the situation for us. I think there would certainly be a different reaction from multiple members of the party regarding the true sort of purpose of this task which you had set us all upon. I will say that for myself and my brother Zeke, the original contract that we were all signed up for was a Retrieving the Shard contract, whereas a Saving Val's Laugh contract would have had a sort of a faster timeline attached to it that the rest of us were not necessarily aware of. So you may wish to sort of renegotiate that separately. But in the interest of setting some expectations for interaction so that there is not a continuing affliction of miscommunication and different expectation levels on each side, what do you need within a given scenario, or what would you accept as a proof that something needs to be looked into and has enough credence for us to delay this main mission, which you are hoping that we will focus on, since it directly connects to your continued existence?
My only request is that I have the assurance that I am at least being considered when we make decisions as a group to delay.
Is you having a vote good enough for that, or are you requiring some sort of additional verbal or written communication to that end?
I think just letting everyone know that that the timeline that I have set is not arbitrary, but is important, is enough. I feel
undefined, but not arbitrary.
Undefined, but not unimportant.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I am aware, as long as everyone in the party is aware that there is something that there was already something at stake, but there is something very personal at stake as well. And just keeping that in mind when we make decisions. We don't have to say it, because now that we've had this conversation, you all know, and I just expect that the same care and consideration I give to your needs will be given to me as well.
In the interest of informing you about communication, I reckon Zeke up here has heard this conversation, but you might want to go ahead and relay some of these details to Xyriel at a juncture here in the short future, so that you don't, he's not on the outside of everything we've discussed here.
I do intend to personally speak with Xyriel, but as the moment he is indisposed.
Fantastic. Nova, I see that you have something you'd like to say. Real quick, before I address you, Marlow, do you find the terms which Val has set out there in terms of...
I find the way that you are talking is very frustrating to me, and I requested that you stopped, and that was not addressed.
Oh, no, it was simply agreed upon by everyone else in the room, including myself, Zeke, Nova, and Val, that it had been helpful at that time, so I was continuing to sort of track
I feel like things have calmed down. If it is agitating, then I believe that it would be fine.
Well, then I will consider...
unnecessary for quite a few minutes.
Well, now, I think that this is probably well enough resolved that I can step back here and let y'all continue, but I will say you might consider for the future, Marlow, that generally the people who need mediation the most are exactly the ones who are constantly trying to get rid of the mediator. Just, there you go.
In your experience, down in
as a professional lawyer, yes.
Yeah.
That is my experience.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll sort of step back, and as he does so, he'll just gesture to Nova to talk.
I'm gonna nod to Abe in appreciation, and take a couple of moments to kind of like listen and sift through the information that was talked about, and offer one additional component that, if Val is okay with it, I would like to disclose regarding what the priests had mentioned to her regarding her affliction, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
When I had observed the scar, and what Val had told me was that the priests had never seen this before in Pelor, and it was of such concern that it denoted a high level of seriousness, and it is possible it could behave very similarly to a malignant tumor, where it may stand aside for a prolonged period of time and then have an episode that rapidly declines. And Marlow, I fear it may have a similar disposition to the unfortunate ending of that individual we saw outside, where a certain event happened where we received this. And I pull out the icon, and I don't mention it, but it's the beheading event.
Oh no, I remember.
I don't say it. I don't say that part, but I
yes.
make sure to dance around that. But I hint that I fear it is a similar occurrence, and it's something that I would like to treat with expediency, but also understand that compromise is important, and I also have things that I need to do, and I just see this as a time-sensitive circumstance, that if it's not going to go against top priorities, I think it's important to take into consideration.
I understand that. I don't disagree whatsoever, but I also do want to mitigate people's ideas in saying that we don't know this timeline. And so there are going to be scenarios where there are going to be things that pop up, and you can't stop doing things in the world and stop helping and stop pursuing things because what might happen in 5 seconds. And
I
to
mean,
agree, that's
Sorry,
Sorry.
I did not realize you were not finished. Please
No,
continue.
please continue. We're adults and we can speak like normal people.
Oh, I was just saying that, I mean, you can. You were just stating that you are not personally interested in trying to put everything on hold just to handle one problem, because you have a lot of values wrapped up in helping people as we go when you find that they have issues.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I'm just saying that you're invested in helping people as we go when it's necessary, so you don't want to commit to just shoving everything else to the side and just doing the one thing, I think.
To a degree, yes. And if we have enough information to go off of, and it's something that is deemed on that information is something that needs to be pursued, that is obviously a conversation that we can have, and whether that means we do it as a group or if other people have differences going and doing that themselves, I think that's something that we all need to understand is a possibility. And we should not blame or accuse or interrogate people for doing their own things and making their decisions.
I had a question.
I felt that. Go ahead.
Is there anything specific other than just the need to help people that is driving you, so that we may better understand your position here?
You would have to ask Xyriel. I hold very little stock in most things, but Xyriel's goal is to help people, so that is my goal.
I see. Then I will speak with him on the matter later, but I just wanted to make sure that if you had any specific needs, just as I had, that they were being addressed and that they are out in the open, so that we may also take them into consideration for future discussions.
I would prefer not to burden others with those things, and I do not think they will interfere with what we need to do.
Your
Great.
secrets are your own, but I will also mention that you are not a burden.
Great. Well, for now, I'd like to say perhaps we could table this until a later point when we can all get together and discuss it. But the one thing I personally would like to see established as we move forward is if
Not
when
sign
one
the
of these...
contract.
Oh, that's fine. I'm just saying, when we reach one of these questions in the future where it's, oh, do we stay on task? Do we help the burning orphanage not be burning? Those sorts of things. Whether we're going to resolve that as a vote, or if the people who feel bound to help the orphanage are just going to split off while the other people continue on toward the main goal,
I feel
whatever it is at that
like
time.
it is an issue of urgency. If there is a literal orphanage burning down, I feel like that's an immediate threat.
I do
But-
think I
but you
answered
might
this by
also
saying
die, like-
on a base-to-base basis, we could talk about it as a group.
But
I don't think you can necessarily assign a direct thing right now without knowing the...
Talking about it, I'm saying when we talk, whether would it be a vote thing, or are we just going to split up when necessary? I guess.
I think it depends on the scenario, and we cannot answer that for sure.
Nova, did you have something?
I can offer a temporary solution that is not an ultimatum. Perhaps we can put up a vote, depending on the level of urgency, with a suggested timeline for a certain detour. And after a certain detour timeline has been completed, then reconvening again to see if that detour needs to be continued or if we return back onto the original plan. Not an ultimatum decision, but perhaps something that we can put towards future actions.
I do agree with both. I agree with Marlow that it is a case-by-case basis and cannot be directly decided right now. And I believe that if we do need to take it up to a vote, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But if it's something that we all just unanimously agree on without discussion, cases like that happen.
Sounds good. Great session, y'all. I'm gonna go look for some footprints. Don't.
Well, we haven't quite revisited the footprint topic to put it and decide what's going on.
Oh, one
Oh.
last thing. Is there any other questions that you have for me if I have not been forthcoming enough already? in the spirit of honesty.
Is there anything you feel that we need to know?
I feel like I've made my peace with what was bothering me, but if something else needed to be discussed, I was open to that possibility as well. But I want to make it clear that I am not purposefully withholding information that is important to the success of our combined goals. Whichever goal is prevalent at the moment, if that makes sense.
It first.
And I realize, it's just, why the fashion statement?
What?
What?
The shiny, that's a lot of gold you got on there, and I'm just wondering if that was like, you just came upon it, or you were like, oh, that's really nice, or like, 'cause it really seems like a choice.
I told Xyriel earlier because I made him hold it, and he was intrigued by it. But it was given to me. It's like a uniform, like a military uniform.
You're like, there's an entire army somewhere wearing shiny gold armor?
Well, some people aren't as shiny, but yes. And it's not
Wow.
literal gold. It's.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's literal gold. Is it literal gold?
It is not literal gold.
Okay,
well,
yeah, it's not literal gold.
You don't know.
I don't know. I was not under the impression that it was actually solid gold, because gold is actually a very malleable metal and would not protect you very well. I believe it's more polished brass.
It's literal gold?
I'm pretty sure it's polished brass or something, because brass is a very, very strong metal.
Can I roll for metallurgic analysis?
I'm a blacksmith.
You can
so
roll
I can...
blacksmithing tools, and
I like hold
Abe
out
can
my
roll-
gauntlet to Marlow to look at.
Abe can roll nature or
I'm pretty sure it's
Something
just
like that.
really polished brass.
Are my
because it looks
blacksmithing
gold.
tools roll proficiency and something?
proficiency in intelligence. Or
21.
yeah,
21.
21. All right.
Yeah.
20.
20.
And I get additional insight because I'm proficient.
This shit is just gold.
What?
It's just gold. Gold. There's no dents like
Oh, shit.
normal gold. It's not like hammered or anything like that, but it is as hard as steel.
Fortified gold.
But this shit
I
gold.
was unaware that it was actually
Full
gold.
of gold warriors. Sounds like something out of the storybook.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not really from around here, so maybe y'all have a lot more gold up here than I thought. But that seems like an awful lot to just wear. You said it was a gift, so are you like
It was not gift as in someone gave it to me for an occasion. It was given to me for the purpose of wearing it for my duties.
So were you like a noble or
I associate with
guard?
nobles. Yes.
So you're like just a soldier, and they were like,
I-
here, wear this armor.
If you have things that you don't want to talk about, Val, it's okay.
It is quite alright. I don't mind discussing my previous occupation. If you must know, I was in charge of protecting some rather important people.
And the gold helped with that because they were just that fancy?
The gold was a choice on their part, yes.
So they're like really, like, is there like a huge nation I'm unaware of, and you were like guarding the queen, and she was like, here, armor, yeet.
Something like that.
He
Okay,
is
cool.
draconic for a throw.
Gold to know if I know of any nobility or royalty that uses gold as their uniform for.
Yeah, roll history.
I'm gonna quietly. I'm gonna lean over to Nova and like subtly, but not that subtly, be like, so I've completely lost my sense of value here. Like, how much is that amount of gold worth?
Nice, nat 20.
How many?
Oh shit! Next one. So you know that most of the standing armies, which haven't seen any use in the past 400 some odd years since the cataclysm, are all more or less like pretty averagely like steel or like a black iron or something like that. Like, but the only ones that have like really gaudy or like really like like bright armor. There's a set of there are multiple sets
Obscenely opulent, maybe.
Yes, there are multiple sets of small standing armies on the at the that are around the Heaven's Vestibule and in Lucidios.
Sorry, so okay. Around the Heaven's Vestibule.
It's the desert that's on Vereen, and then the big, like, metropolis fancy city that is built as a copy of the City of Brass in the Fire Plane. It's like this, you know, it's a very kind of like Middle Eastern architecture style wise thing, and there's a lot of like really there's no real like Lucidios army, but there are multiple nobilities there, and they all have like colors that go along with them, and you've heard stories of like some people who wear like brass armor or like this kind of like electrum armor or something like that. Like it is shiny armor.
Before Marlow says whatever she's gonna say from her knowledge, I just wanted to get my question.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to get my question from Nova answered of like, so I've completely lost my sense of value here for a moment. It's like, how much is that worth? Like, how many horses could I buy?
That's a question for Xyriel.
Can I like guesstimate without getting it like super accurate, because it's 100% a Xyriel guess? But
You don't know.
He's literally
you know
just
this
asking
is,
Nova because he's like, Nova's from the overworld.
You don't know because it is gold, but it doesn't act like gold. So like you're not sure if it's a gold alloy or something, or if this shit like magic, or if it's like
probably be like 500 horses, but like in sign, because I'm like.
Okay.
Do I
500
give or take a couple hundred? Probably give, but yeah.
I'll just sign back. So, like, I could buy a house.
love this sign that we've created.
Based on
Yeah, this is
ASL Arthania sign language.
DSL.
Arthania sign language.
do I, based on where I worked and where Val has told me she worked, do I know of any higher nobility folks that
Yes.
she may or may not? And have I met those people?
You met one person from that family. No, you met 3 from that family.
3 of them. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Cool.
Case, based on having no knowledge about anything ever with regards to this, could I make a supposition?
Nope.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, this backstory stuff, but yes, Nova knows a few people that are in a circle over there, very tangentially. Nova, go ahead and give me a. Are you doing a tinker tool check with this item?
No, I was just gonna guesstimate.
Huh?
Oh,
Guesstimate.
the I thought I used my
Before?
my knowledge about explosives and fire-related events and technology skill
Oh,
to utilize. And I rolled a
gotcha.
nat 20 on that, plus this plus 10.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, I think I did okay.
You realize that it is enchanted.
Oh, cool. That's fun.
And that you have to push the little fan down in order to activate it.
Okay, sweet, solid. I'm going to make sure that there is something to minimize any sort of rocking that can push that fan down, and I'm going to put some little, like, rods around the fan so that it stays up, propped up. Yeah, Marlow?
Gotcha.
Before we move on, I want to. Okay, I think this was needed. Val, thank you for explaining more parameters of this. And I think if anyone has anything they want to say or have anything to do with what we're doing or anything they want to know moving forward, ask any questions to people here about whatever. I think now would be a good time to just do it and get it out of the way.
Yeah, so like with the footprints, I was reckoning that we would check those out just enough to see if we could see whatever yahoos happen to have been swiping shit, because it might be relevant to the whole exploding valve problem. But that if it would look like it was going to take too long, or we weren't looking up any leads that seemed like it'd lead us to the shard or the people who stole it, we'd just head out on the way, just to make sure we didn't, miss some sort of a lead that might get us to you not dying sooner and whatnot.
Appreciate that.
Just doing my job.
I think we should revisit the topic of, do we want to do a certain timeline to continue following these tracks?
Well, the tracks are still on our path, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
They veer off.
This whole time, it's about this time that Xyriel is able to come back and say, it looks like the tracks just kind of follow the road along in the this kind of side patched area here. They're not really good at covering up their tracks outside of, like, right there.
I reckon that's the size does that to them. There used to be this big old I won't get into it, but there's a guy who came through town every once in a while, murdering and whatnot as people do. And when I was a kid, and whenever he stepped through, there'd be tracks for weeks.
Terrifying.
I'm going to take our little explosive device and I'm going to be like, all right, folks, this gets activated if you push this fan in. You do that, we all go up. Let's not touch that unless absolute, and I swat Abe, absolutely necessary. Any suggestions on where we should put this one?
We could put it in the bag of holding.
Yeah. Also, I believe Xyriel said something about the gnolls saying that it got bigger and then smaller or something along those lines and changed size. Do you have any insight? What exactly it was?
Only understanding of similar explosive devices along those lines are at the molecular level of certain elements splitting and then imploding on themselves, and it creates quite a large area of exposure.
So, bag of holding.
Wait, just a moment. I was gonna ask why the gnolls had a bomb, but I feel we're well past
They
that.
found
We
it
can
in the
return
woods.
to that later.
No, it sounded like it just grew.
Yeah.
It just grew to, like, they said, like 10 feet, and then it went back down to this.
Yeah, it wasn't like explosion grow. It's like it physically expanded and then came back.
So it's not a bomb.
Yeah, I didn't really think it was.
I thought, okay,
I don't
read that wrong.
No, there was. It came after the fires. They said. I think might have been where
The
And they just said it stopped when it was not hot anymore. It was, it shrunk.
Cool. So here's my pitch. You said you have to like put that down into it.
Well, now I don't know.
Not in the caravan, please.
Out of
but
character.
You haven't done
it is
any
not a-
checks. You haven't done any checks to see, or and outside of an identify spell, you don't know what this does.
So
I didn't use an identify spell.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
he's saying
Outside-
because you haven't, you don't
Because
know.
you
Oh, I
So-
see.
So you said that you have to like push that thingy down for it to do whatever it does.
Not press the
Supposedly.
button. If
We're
that's
not
where this
gonna
is
press the
going.
button.
All right.
At least not yet.
I got an
We need-
idea. Give me a second. Let me just. And I
We
go over
can't
to Zeke's
identify it, I
backpack.
believe.
I would
I'm
be
gonna-
happy to identify it.
I'm gonna go over to Zeke's backpack and I'm gonna pull out a length of rope. And what I want to do is go over and I'm gonna say, now just hold it real still.
How about we just identify
Marlow,
it before
can
we
you
mess
just
with
trust me for 1
no,
minute?
not with this. Because
All right, well then I don't care.
I
And
think
I'm
it would
just
be
gonna.
okay.
I wanna
This is great,
tie-
great communication skills and groups. Just continuing to do what people do despite not listening to other people. This is what happens all the time, Abe.
And as she says that, I'll just pause and I'll. Okay. We don't want the plunger to go down, right?
Yes, we do not want that.
For it to go down, it has to fit in the hole. So if I tie a rope around the top part and wrap it around, it can't get plunged down. So we got a might safer objecty thing to be working with.
Do you mind if we just identify it before
I
we?
did also already put little like metal rods taped around it, so
Oh yeah, that's what I had wanted to do, but I didn't have metal rods.
they're like little tiny like baby
Mhm.
stick like things. They're very
Baby
small.
babies.
But identify sounds great.
I
I'm going
prefer-
to get started on that.
We're in a moving wagon.
We
So I
are.
was just gonna say, I'd kind of prefer to like secure it and
It's already
then
secured.
mess with it.
I've been securing it during the
Oh, so you got like
Chitter chatter.
well, if it can't get pushed down, then I'm fine with that then. All right.
So the identify spell, are you doing it as a ritual or?
yes, I'm doing it
okay.
as a ritual.
Sorry to burst your bubble.
I'm gonna sit down on the other side of it. And I'm gonna say, while you're doing that, do you mind if I?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. I'm gonna cast read object on it.
Okay. So at the same time y'all work on this, Nova, you have things kind of like pop up, and it's almost like this weird like they all kind of happen at the same time, and
Disorienting.
you have like a smaller piece, and then Abe, like you have a small thing that like does this weird like blueprint schematic thing that like unfolds, and Abe just has this like kind of like smoky explosion that kind of like trails behind you all. Not explosion, but like popping noises that don't really do anything. But
Can
like
you
makes
imagine
this...
just a smoky caravan that's like light blue lights shooting out everywhere and like the smoke trailing out?
I can imagine.
You've got like
We
the
can make it
laser.
real.
You've got
This-
the laser light show vibes going on, and I'm like pyrotechnics on the other side.
God.
Nina, Nova is able to tell.
Very distracting. Probably my least favorite ritual is simultaneous rituals going on at the same time. Just as long as no one talks, please.
This is Grunt Joe's Grand Adjusting Forge. This is a small object that can fit in a 6-inch cubed area. It can expand. You can use an action to press the plunger down, and it expands as an action into a 10 by 10 foot cubed area. It cannot expand if it does not have that space to do it. If it has the space next to it, it will push things out of the way, and they will take a d6 of damage if they are pushed out of the way, out of that space. It immediately turns into a fully functioning forge with tools and everything. Any tools that are in the forge taken out of the forge at time of closing are immediately returned back to the forge magically. Everything is put in its place at the beginning. It lasts for as long as you keep the coals hot, or 8 hours. And whenever the coals die down, it automatically closes back up, and it cannot be used again until the next dawn.
Okay.
This
So
is my
basically,
favorite
it's a
item
forge.
ever.
We need at least 8 hours
It's amazing. I love this.
because it needs to go back down.
Nova discloses all of this.
So it's a nighttime thing.
You can put water on the forge fires, and it'll immediately close.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. That's so cool.
You just have to douse the
Water.
flames, and it'll close out. Or you can shut the fire off with control flames, and it'll turn off.
Okay. Okay.
I love it.
Cool.
But yeah, and you can make stuff with it. All things that you make within the forge have a +1 to all checks being made
Solid.
there.
Wow.
And
Dang.
Abe, you see remnants of a character, this figure. The last thing that you see is someone working at this forge, and making a weird shaped, warhammer. That's the last thing that you're able to see is they pull out and they finish a warhammer as they fire it off, and then it kind of closes in.
Can I tell anything specific about this Warhammer or the guy?
There's no specifics because it is cast on the object itself. It is just a figure and a warhammer. It's very vague. All the details are there about the object, but the rest of it is just very vague.
This is really, really, and I'm just gonna look up, and my eyes are gonna look first to Nova, and then toward Marlow, and then Val, and back to Nova. This is I'm trying to say Zeke, it's really cool.
It's really cool.
There's a thing back here, and it becomes a forge.
A forge.
Now that doesn't
Marlow,
sound
I can't
quite
hear
right.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
it's
that's right.
it's like a
It's
box,
right.
and when you
Okay,
open the box up, it's just a forge.
Seems handy.
I mean, none of us can use that.
It takes a while to do. So in the spirit of not going off track on things that we need to get done, we can wait until we get to Aldenair and things are done. But please, can I really try and use it?
I mean, if
I
we're taking
tried-
a long rest somewhere and stopping and making camp, I see no problem in setting it up and using it.
Can I just pick it up from Nova and
Yeah.
hand it toward Marlow?
The little metal sticks are tied with some twine or something, so just take them off whenever you're locked and loaded. So, but please don't open it in the caravan. No.
Yeah, no, that would really suck.
I don't think we can start a forge in our cart.
I have so many
You never know,
questions
don't
though.
try.
I have so many questions though. Nova, do you think that the space inside where the forge
Hey,
is,
Marlow.
decreases the space between the objects when it shrinks?
Oh my
Or
God,
do
you
you
forget
think
it.
Tensor's floating disc.
that
My belief
is it
that
another
it's got
plane?
an
Or-
origami-styled architecture that can
Okay.
unfold so that you get
Okay.
higher surface area, and then they are multi-layered.
See, that's what I was
fortified.
thinking
10 by
too,
10
because I
foot.
think it's mechanical. It doesn't contain another space like
I
the
agree.
bags do, which means that anything we put in it. Because here's what I was thinking: if you were in there, right, and it was folded up, and you left something in it, would it get crushed, or would it stay? You know
It
what
would
I'm saying?
anything out that doesn't come out to begin with. So all of those equipment materials likely have a very specific place that they get locked into place for the origami folding it back into that cube.
So if we want to add something to it or put something into it, we're gonna have to take it back out before we close it.
Leave
up,
it as
is
you
what I'm
found it.
thinking.
Yeah, that's my guess.
So y'all have about a.
Oh, we've got a bag of holding. Sorry.
We do have a bag of holding. Well, I gave mine to Xyriel. Well,
What
I
if we
loaned
got
it
another
Oh,
to
one?
Xyriel.
Xyriel's gonna love this.
I loaned it to Xyriel. He does not get to keep it.
What if we got another one and we just like made it the bag of forging and we put stuff that couldn't stay in the forge?
Well,
in
I
the
suppose we can
forge?
look for one when we get to either Kolkirk or Aldener, wherever we go next that has a market. We can look.
Y'all are about 2
At
days
this
from
point,
Kolkirk.
Abe realizes he's been nerding out because he fucking loves science and forges. And he's just gonna be like, anyways,
Close
I'm
me
just
by,
gonna.
but watch as Abe nerds out.
Marlo's just like nodding her head, like yes, 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 yes.
Abe's just gonna like awkwardly don his glasses, and I'm just gonna go up to the front and like follow Xyriel around looking for tracks until we get to where we're going.
Yeah, Xyriel just jokes about how like dumb these guys are. They're like, you could obviously see like a pushover thicket now that you're like a couple of miles outside of town. It is like a really like just outside of the road, and some of the brush and like a lot of the snow and stuff like that is actually like pushed out the way a little bit further, and it is just going along the way. I need someone to roll me a d20 for this travel day.
Not Mel. No. I wasn't even looking at
We've already had another conflict today. I can't do another like Mel roll.
I'll do it.
Give me a roll, Mel. Do it.
Please.
No, we've had 2 people deny. We had 2 people deny. Do it.
No.
Give me a 20.
I'm using the Merlin die for ultimate
Surprise.
chaos.
The travel forge explodes.
20 or what? Those are the only rolls I want.
This isn't a super random one. So, is it another fucking natural 20? Are you fucking kidding me?
Wait, what?
We all die.
Oh god.
Wait, was it actually a 20?
All right. Someone do the giveaway. We're giving it. We got a giveaway.
Giveaway.
Ooh.
I shit you not, it was a nat 20.
Oh my fucking
Yeah.
god.
Not allowed to roll. She's not allowed to roll.
Love to see it.
Well, it's not a random encounter. It's not a super random encounter, and it's not an increased random encounter, but it's a natural 20, which is gonna be interesting. So, go ahead and how do we do the giveaway thing?
Exclamation point giveaway.
Oh,
I don't know.
I got it.
This sounds
I
like a.
I'm so sorry, the Merlin
Toby
die
expertise.
demands chaos.
Hey, Draconic
Congratulations.
Sorceress.
Hey.
Please
No.
DM the Nat 20 show
Congrats.
or I will DM you after on the Nat 20 show account or the case D20 account.
I do
for...
believe that Draconic
wonderful.
Sorceress is in our Discord.
Oh,
In
hey,
contact.
hell yeah.
Perfect.
Through the Discord.
Yeah, Discord is also good. We'll get your contact information and email you,
Hey.
or
That-
get email all that stuff.
Fucking Chaos Mel roll would be the giveaway.
Oh my
Like it
god.
would
It's
be.
perfect.
It had
Yep.
it. All of the stars.
The minute I picked up the Merlin die, I was like, oh, we're gonna use chaos dice.
Oh my fucking god. So,
That dice is cursed.
I don't have my list with
Do
me.
we
Where's
need-
my list? We're not gonna start it
Do we
right
need to roll
now.
the D100?
No, that was for the super random ones.
So just to get this straight, you said the only thing you didn't want us to roll was a nat 1 or a nat 20?
No, I didn't want you to roll a nat 20. Or you didn't want you to roll a nat 20.
We didn't want us to roll a nat 20.
No.
Oh,
None of
God.
us wanted this, which is why I still question why did we let her
This
roll?
is
Actually-
the
I
worst
believe it came
timeline.
back to the
Actually, no. I do need a D100 roll. We'll say from...
Not for me.
I'm good too.
Oh, you want-
I'm
you got it.
pass.
I have a bad track record
I-
with D100 rolls too.
Do it. Do it. What you
Stay
got?
away.
I mean, wild
Marlow-
magic for a while. I need to use my D.
My vote is
Do it.
Marlow.
Surprise, she has to
Kobe,
rhyme
hit
again.
us with. Abe would adore that.
Abe would adore what?
Abe, bring
Just-
the rhymes back.
Yeah,
the
another
flow.
forced rhyming session. Abe was ready for us to slowly become a fantasy themed
47.
improv rapper.
47?
Oh my god, no. 47. Listen, Abe, if you kept rhyming at Marlow, like, continue to do so, I had a whole thing that was gonna happen.
I don't want it to happen.
Freestyling in the
What was
Forgotten
it?
Realms.
Well, the shirt was part of it. The shirt was part of it.
Oh my god.
No, I'm at some point
Wrap off.
rhyming will ensue again.
Our next conflict communication session will not be done with a talking.
I'm gonna say,
We'll be
well,
done with
we're
a battle.
It's the opposite of expressing your emotions. Rap battle.
as we're doing this, I do want to say, Marlow, that I apologize for any issues that were caused. However, please read this paper that explains things that I really don't like with traveling companions.
It's been pretty consistent.
And it might
Wait,
explain
does
why
she
things
actually
been
have like
issues.
a
I
sheet
do.
with
If you want,
grievances?
I can read my
Can you just give
introduction.
that to Val? Can you just give it to her so she can just have it
I
on
have
file?
copies.
Yeah,
I have
just
copies.
give Val one so she can have it.
Here you go.
I don't think you ever gave
Here you
one
go.
to the brothers.
I'll
It
be
was, so when we met in the
right
bar,
back.
I said,
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to treat you guys to dinner, and I need, like, I have things that we have to do as league members, and this is one of them. But then nobody sat down at the table for dinner.
Iconic.
Nova did. Nova took the paper and she
Yeah.
read it
You and
and
Nova's
then
seen it.
proceeded to ignore it.
Yeah, Nova has.
It's been
has-
very consistent, Marlow. I
That's-
do appreciate that. You put a lot of thought into it. It was
No.
That's the biggest grievance Marlowe has with
I
Nova, is
thought
that
she
she's the one who
orated it to
didn't read
us.
No,
no.
Oh.
Nova
It
has
was
seen
on a
it, and
paper.
Alia has seen it, and that's it.
Yeah. And Nova
Alia-
knowingly ignored it.
Was this the same day that Val got drunk at the bar?
Nope.
Yes.
It was the very
It was
first
when
day.
we left for the on-pegs.
Okay.
Very
Oh,
yeah,
okay, that was a different
very
day. You're right.
first day.
I can
When,
read it aloud
uh,
to chat if you guys want.
Nah,
Me
just
too.
send it to me.
But we have like
Um,
time.
Also, the audience has never seen it unless they're in the Discord! Exclamation point Discord.
Here's the thing.
It's a little nugget
Resources.
in resources. Is it in resources?
Wait, is it in resources?
No, I think it's in Theorize, maybe.
Yeah. We'll put it in resources too. But go
Exclamation
ahead and
mark
read it out loud.
Discord. You can come join our Discord channel where you can see channels like resources where you can see the additional game materials that we use for this game, or Theorize, where we chat with each other and the community about different ideas about what might be going on in the wild and wacky world of Balance the Cosmic Wheel.
Exactly. Okay, here it is. This is the letter that you all should have gotten and that Nova did. Hello, my name is Marlow, and it is an absolute pleasure to be able to work with you. I like watching birds and collecting their feathers. I like to drink tea, my favorite being Saloon's tea infused with lavender and a little bit of honey so the earthy taste is not too overwhelming. I do caution, however, that those who attempt to brew it take care not to drop it into drop the flowers into the flames, as a ghost is not nearly palatable. Sorry, my kitten's right behind me. I also get a good book, especially if it pertains to artifacts, legends, and magical. If you have a blade, I would love to see it to be able to take a look at it. I have a passion for weaponry that exceeds propriety, or so I am. I am also quite fond of brainstorms. I do not like sweet food, as it strikes me as rather unhealthy, and I do not like messy eaters. Please have eaters. I do not like alcohol. Please do not ask me to drink, Abe. I really do not like being put on the spot or not knowing what is going on. So I'd appreciate kind explanations. I've recently found a new dislike of contracts, so I suppose it's not all that important. I do request that if we are to work together, that we come up with a coordinated plan and designate roles so we may be as efficient as possible. I'm reading this message, and I look forward to meeting you. So, these four of those
explains so
things
much.
were broken so fast. Baby kitten. Kitten.
I don't like what I'm seeing on Michael's.
Abe and Marlow,
screen.
literally
Don't
opposite
worry
people.
about it.
Abe's actually one of the ones that Marlo likes the most.
Guys, I'm genuinely concerned about what I just saw on Michael's screen. It's fine.
Abe,
Everything's fine.
Abe low-key would throw the flowers into the fire just to smell them.
Throw it into the
when
fire.
you throw them into the fire, a ghost appears. It releases a phantom.
Amazing.
That's what you're not supposed to do.
All right.
Amazing.
The day goes on without issue. I would like someone to roll a survival check.
Can Xyriel do it?
Oh, it can't be me. It really can't be
it can
me.
be Xyriel.
Please let it be
Thank
Xyriel.
I don't know if he's proficient, but I know his wisdom.
He is. He has like a
Yes.
+7 or something.
Excellent.
Xyriel, as far as I'm aware, Xyriel and Zeke are the two good survivalists.
19 plus 7.
I think it's a 7. It's his wisdom
26.
+2.
You guys find a very nice little cave area that is separated from the cold snow that starts to beat into the Northic Inn for tonight. It is quite the later parts of the day starts to really like speed up with some wind as snow starts to kind of buffet into and around. In the midst of like the last 2 hours, you're already walking through a couple, maybe an inch or two of snow as it starts to stick to the ground, into the grass. You're able to pull off into a cave area, and
I have such bad luck with caves.
Can we send in a tactical Vinny to scout out the caves?
the cave
don't
is
trust caves anymore.
The cave is empty. It's not like a cave as much as it is just like an enclosure of like the bottom of like a a larger rock kind of area. The cave's
an
empty.
overhang thing.
Yeah. You the survival check made sure that is making sure that like yes, there's nothing in this cave. And so you're able to set up for camp.
Okay. Cool. Marla's gonna go around to each of the people in the group and say, do you mind if you have any blades? I can sharpen them if you want. I'm pretty good at it.
I pull out like the smallest, like rusty ass dagger that I have.
Marlow
That is,
honestly looks
an
very
abomination.
concerned.
Like it probably
Very
would just give you
concerned.
tetanus, and that would kill you before any piercing ever would. But that's all I've got. So like, yeah.
Do you need a better dagger?
I mean, yeah, if you want to give me one.
it
I've
came-
never had to use it, but like,
Yeah, Val just
It-
pulls
it,
a
like-
dagger out of her pack and like flips it over
Nova's got
and
a butter
hands it to
knife.
her handle side to Nova.
It came in like just some meat she was served like 6 years ago, and she accidentally took it with her.
wait, I actually have one of those in my car.
Yeah.
What? A what? What is it?
that rusty steak knife that I've got in my car.
Oh my god. Yeah. Every time I get
We're
like
taking it
tissues out or something like that, I'm like, oh yeah, this weird steak
yeah.
I'm
knife.
gonna die one of these days.
Oh my
Marla
god.
looks
But yeah.
extremely concerned, takes it a little gingerly, and says, "Okay, I think I might be able to work with that."
Cool, thank you, appreciate it.
course.
Just recognizes it's a piece of junk, but it's just like, yep, that's my piece of junk. But also, thank you for the nice dagger. 'Cause
You're welcome. It like matches the set of armor. You have a feeling it goes with it.
Do you want me to sharpen that too?
How sharp is it?
You should sharpen it.
It's
every
probably
time.
I probably maintain it, so it's probably sharp.
Solid. Do you want it more sharpened?
I was giving it
From
to
a
you
wonderful
for now.
blacksmith who works with.
I
me.
mean, I wouldn't say no, but I was
want
giving
Let me
it to
do
Nova
this.
for now.
Let me do this for you guys because I apologize for everything that's going on. It's
Your emotions are valid, Marlo.
valid. Marlow has no emotions. She's just dead inside and cranky.
When you come to Abe, he just gives you this look of like I don't know what you want from me here, as he just holds the book.
Do you not have any source of protection if people come right up to you and you have no spells left?
You can have my rusty dagger.
He like sparks up his hand slightly, shrugs. I'll turn and I'll dig through the backpack, and I'm pretty sure that inside of my Dungeoneer's kit, there's a crowbar. So I'll just pull out the crowbar. Sure.
Yes, you do have a crowbar. Yeah,
Yeah.
this could work.
No, that's fine. Thank you. If you need anything else, let
Are
me
you
know.
Are you gonna use the thing?
I mean, I don't. It's. I want to, but I think I should wait until I have some more materials. We don't have a lot of materials to actually
But
forge.
it's really cool.
It's really, really cool, right? I mean, I suppose you could just like open it and take a look inside.
Hey Nova.
Yeah, what's up?
Are you like real attached to that dagger?
No.
Cool. We can use the dagger. Like, I don't know what we could make it into, but I assume that like we could make it into a thing.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, I have some rusty swords as well that we could probably melt down and.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey Marlow,
Mhm.
could you do me a favor and like, she actually slides over this little like mesh wired looking thing. Can you like squish this in between two little metal pieces for me?
You have two little metal pieces.
Nope.
Okay, we can use. Does the type of metal matter? Do you need a specific kind of metal? No. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. We can totally do all of this.
What else do we need?
Do you need anything, Val?
I don't think we could replace any of what she has. It's made of gold.
I think I'm good. I think this axe thing seems nigh indestructible, and I haven't had to use. No, I think breaking it would be a bad idea. But
Marlowe's
And-
looking a little manic.
and then my sword, I haven't used it in a bit, so I think it's okay. If you want to perform basic maintenance on it, you can.
I would love to make
But
that.
it is maintenance. Basic maintenance on it, you can, but it is not required.
No, I would love to do so.
Okay, if it makes you happy, you may maintenance this. It is also a ridiculously opulent and obnoxious gold sword.
Marlow.
The blade is gold.
No, the blade is not gold.
I kind of hoped the blade was gold.
I kinda did
wish it
too.
was.
Bases
Like
the blade
laminated.
gold. I'm assuming just the hilt is gold, right?
Could you imagine like Damascus, but gold?
But gold, yeah.
Please tell me the blade is not gold.
Blade's not gold. No.
Thank God.
No. The I think like the maybe
Cross
the pommel
guard.
and the cross guard might be the same thing as your armor, but that's about it.
Okay.
But Marlow, as you go to reach for this sword, you get about 6 inches away before your finger arcs with some static to the edge of the blade.
Oh, excuse?
Her blade?
Her blade.
Well, why?
And your hair stands up. But like you look at Val and like her hair is also kind of starting to wire up a little bit.
What are you doing?
Salmon. You're the most prettiest sword ever. Nothing gold will ever replace you. I'm just here to take care of First Sword, okay?
Wait, I have. Oh god, wait. Don't say.
LOL.
My stream deck is not working.
Val moaned like, I can't. Why does my call keep dropping? I'm trying to. Sword is broken.
You hear for a second. It's a pause for a second, and then. This isn't me before.
Oh no.
What did he say?
Yeah, it's
And
not
you
him.
look, kind of look around. All of you, your hair on your head and on your arms is standing up, and you can smell ozone.
See, I didn't hear what Balmung said. What did he say?
Oh, he said that
He
wasn't
said
me.
in my
little one.
head it wasn't him.
Oh.
And you can see like a little bit of like the fire that was starting to crackle, just starting to crackle up and almost spark off as some of it starts to turn white hot
I
Ugh.
think we might want to get out of this area.
before the rocks in the center of the fire fall down into a hole that opens into the ground. And you hear this awful, high-pitched.
Oh, I'm looking at Abe. I'm like, what did you do?
Finger guns.
Does this give me backstory vibes or?
It
Gives you a nat 20 bullshit vibe.
does not.
Val.
Fucking Merlin.
Okay,
dice.
cool.
What heck?
But
Or not Merlin, but Naraya.
what
No,
you
that
do
was
see
Merlin.
The
dice.
Merlin dice.
is crawling out of the ground is
Can
this,
No.
or first coming out of the ground. What you got?
I just wanted to say, I don't know if it's possible as this is happening, but if I could, I'd just like to, as her panic reaction, summon my flaming sphere, just on/in the hole.
Do you have a spell then?
Can
Oh, no,
I?
those are rituals. Perfect.
Question.
Perfect.
Y'all have had a short rest since then, also.
Question.
Yeah.
Can we see something coming out of the hole?
It kind of
Please
happens at the
continue
same
with
time of
Yeah.
you can see this maybe the size of a building column. This lamprey eyeless
Cool.
mouth that just starts to extend and worm its way.
Awesome. I take the sword that I was already holding, point it at it, and cast Guiding Bolt through my sword at it.
All right.
Should we finish that and roll initiative?
We will roll initiative in the next round.
Okay.
Hey.
Or next time.
Yeah.
As you all, I'll say.
Wait, I want to keep hearing the description.
Yeah, go ahead and finish
What's your
describing this freaky
description,
thing.
Karen?
No. We want to cast Guiding Bolt. We can't hear any description until next week. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
It comes out fast enough, really, for you to see it, and as you're casting it, the entirety of the form comes out and continues on with that screech. I'm going to continue giving you guys some anxiety as I load the picture.
Oh god.
Anxiety.
Where is it?
It's fine, TM.
TM. The caw TM.
Call TM.
Also,
Oh.
Paladin with Guiding Bolt. We love to see it. Pew pew, motherfuckers!
I'd just like to say, I feel like canonically, whenever Abe casts fire darts, the somatic component is just finger guns.
Yes. But not at Damon's, because they see it as rude or an agreement. I forget which one it was.
They see it as an agreement, I think.
An agreement. Mm-hmm.
It has too much innate, positivity and acceptance
Suggestive
within it. Yeah.
Agreement. Yeah.
It vaguely suggests agreement, and you don't want to go there.
Is it like a wormy demon dude?
You'll see.
They don't like this.
Does
They
it
don't.
look like someone
Does it
that
have
would
9
been?
legs? Is it an insect? Is it from the underworld? Let's see, I've got 17 more questions.
Does it speak
Can it just leave us
infernal?
alone?
There you go. Check the stream.
Waiting for stream
Waiting for it.
flag. Waiting for stream flag.
I see a popcorn
For
thing,
stream
and I
flag.
totally agree.
I will drop it in.
Oh, here it's coming. It's coming. I'm ready for it. I see a ah!
Oh, it's
Ah!
cute. 10 out of 10. You love to see it.
This creature that looks like it's made. Oh, that looks like it's. Oh no! Did we just lose the things? That's okay. Oh man. I goofed. I lost. Oh. Can't see.
I don't know if anyone else is seeing the same thing I am, but like, it's a real shame that we don't have the Millennium Falcon right now, because I think.
Oh, she's undead.
I gooped. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's what y'all see, and this whitish, leathery lamprey-like thing with wings that looks like it's entirely stitched together of various parts of different beasts emerges, and lightning crackles and strikes all along the walls of the cave.
We have to keep having lightning-based creatures. God damn it.
Next time on D&D. Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
That's unfortunate.
We were about to have a wholesome little forge. We
Yep.
finally talked
Yep.
things out, got
Yep.
shit going forward.
But the Merlin dice
Conflict.
says otherwise.
Merlin
Yeah.
dice.
You guys had to let Mel roll.
Sorry, guys. I promise not to roll for random encounters ever again.
I want you to, because please.
Quite the opposite. I think you're just, in my opinion, I'm just gonna vote you every time as the designated.
Is it the
roller.
Pokemon Electros? It's actually very close to Electros, yes.
But don't mind me, just like sitting here and stressing.
So
Fine.
we will jump into this on the next episode. Everyone, just kind of don't go anywhere yet, because it is.
Did we get after hours?
It is indeed vibing time.
Yay.
Steam Dragon
Okay.
is making sure we
Excellent.
is keeping our vibes.